This is a makeup game from about a week and a half ago, David, right?
Yeah, we had big weather come through, and it rained just enough to keep the infield a little lake-like.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it there. So, Mason City Riverhawks, they've got the advantage here in the last since 2009, about 38-20 in the advantage of the Riverhawks. So this, take a look at their starting lineup here. We've got Dalen Gensler playing first base, leading off for the Riverhawks, and we got Kylie Johnson in center field. Brogan Evans is their big bat there, batting third, playing shortstop as well. Pitching for Mason City and batting fourth is Lexi Payne. We got Piper Cook catching and in that 5 spot. Moving on to 6 is Zaria Falls playing third base. Jaden Shin after that in left field. Piper Nelson at second base and Ivy Kettleson in right field.
You mentioned Brogan Evans. They're batting .321 on the year. Tops of the lineup along with Kylie Johnson there at .320. So definitely some power and some consistency from the Riverhawks.
Yeah, and let's switch it on over to the Bobcats now and take a look at their starting lineup. Looking at the Bobcats here, leading off for them, we have Gianna Bowney playing center field today. Abby Jansen slotting in at catcher and in that second spot. Lainey Danielson at first base, celebrating her first senior night tonight. Aubrey Munt as well, playing right field. In the 4th spot, Olivia Wise playing second base. Briley Danielson pitching. Briley pitched a no-hitter earlier this season. We'll see how well she holds up on the mound tonight. Kaylin Coleman is the designated player. She'll be batting for Brooklyn Smith, who's playing in center field. Cam Price is in that 8-hole, and Kendall Brummel in the 9-hole. What can you tell me about this Bobcat lineup?
Notable absence of Kate Sandvik here tonight as we head into the national anthem.
Play ball indeed.
Play ball indeed.
David, tell me a little bit about this Bobcat lineup here.
Yeah, so notable absence there of Kate Sandvik. She is currently traveling with a softball team out in Colorado. So no normal shortstop center field rotation for her tonight, but still plenty of capabilities out at the plate as well as in the field. Gianna Bowney, more than capable there at the leadoff spot, batting .366, 25 of 26 on steals so far this year for the leadoff batter for the Bobcats, as well as Lainey and Briley Danielson. And shout out to Aubrey Munt. You mentioned senior night tonight for her, and coming off the last broadcast we had, hit a grand slam right over the right field foul pole to against the Ames Little Cyclones.
Yeah, let's see if we can keep maybe some of that KFJB-TV magic carrying over into this game as well for Aubrey. Looks like Gianna actually not in center field here for game 1. Looks like she's playing shortstop,
yes.
So it'll be good to see her. We see a little more action here in the infield as we get ready to have our first pitch here.
Briley Danielson in the center circle for the Bobcats here today.
No hitter earlier this season. What are some other stats that we've got on her?
6 and 7 so far on the year, an ERA of .595. She's allowed 47 runs so far this year. Looking to keep that number down here against the Riverhawks.
Here we go. 0-0 count. First pitch of the day. As Gensler steps back in for Mason City. There's a strike thrown by Danielson. 1-1 count here. Nice swing and a miss. Let's see if Danielson can put her away here to start the game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just a little high there. 2-2. Ball bounces before it gets to home plate there as the count runs full with the first batter of the game.
We've seen some of these struggles from Bobcat pitchers this year, getting ahead in the count and just not being able to quite close out the batter.
Punch him away, bat on ball. Boom! Third baseman.
Kendall Brummel over there.
Yes.
Nearly a Web Gem nominee there.
Man, Web Gems. I wish they'd bring those back. Full count here as Danielson takes to the rubber. Just high as she walks the first batter of the day.
Brings up Kylie Johnson here, batting .320 on the year. 6 runs batted in.
Gensler takes a big lead there. No throwdown, no steal. Or I guess bounces off the bag. Gianna can't quite get her glove on the ball, but they do get Gensler there at first base, as that is a fielder's choice. I guess error.
Yeah.
Should have been an out, but still runner on first.
Runner takes off for second. Throw is a little bit off the bag and a little short, so Johnson swipes second. Gets a runner in scoring position here early for the Riverhawks.
1 out for the Bobcats as Danielson throws one in. Got a 1-1 count. Runner on second, 1 out here. Danielson, while she has allowed the 2 runners, I guess she hasn't allowed them on base. She's got the no-hitter intact.
Yes.
It's a 2-1 count. Fly ball to center field. And Smith can't quite track it down. Gets it into the infield. It is a triple there for Evans, and that scores Johnson for the first run for the Riverhawks. It's a deep shot there by Evans that Smith could not quite track down in time. You see her there playing center field for the Bobcats. And it's a triple, and Evans' first at-bat for the Riverhawks.
Brogan Evans, we highlighted during that starting lineup. Sort of the go-to batter for the Riverhawks, a .321 average now, 20 RBIs on the year, and looking to score her 13th run. Also, a trifecta of home runs so far this year, so certainly a batter that, as already shown today, the Bobcats will need to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and definitely can get the ball deep in play. We might see that go over the fence here. 180 down the lines here at the Bobcat field.
180 down the lines, and that one nearly got to the 220 sign and straightaway center. So certainly power from the 3 spot here for Mason City.
Yeah, and up next here is the pitcher, Lexi Payne for the Riverhawks. Runner on third, ball 1.
Danielson has really struggled finding that strike zone here early. Not sure if it's some nerves or maybe some fatigue from the Bobcat Classic this past weekend, as foul ball down the first base line.
Yeah, Bobcat Classic, where they get 3 wins this past weekend. So got to be feeling good about that. But a lot of games have been played here in a short amount of time, and they're going to continue to come as they play 2 games tomorrow and 2 games again on Thursday. 1-1 count. Danielson rips it in there. 1-2 count now. 1 out, runner on third. Bobcats have surrendered just 1 run. And 1 hit, unfortunately. There it is, a ball 2 there.
Yeah, 10 games in about 5 or 6 days here for the Cats, as they've got double headers the rest of the week up until 4th of July. We've already seen some fireworks so far from Mason City, and
that one's low there for ball 3. Another full count here for Danielson. Yeah, it was a nice shot there to center. That put Evans on third and scored the 1 run for the Riverhawks. Danielson throws it in and rings her up. Strike 3 for the first strikeout for Danielson. 2nd out today.
Big 2nd out there with the runner on third. Takes away the sacrifice opportunity here.
They have to get a hit to score a run. Danielson throws a ball with the first pitch here. We've got Piper Cook, who takes a swing and brings it to right field, where Aubrey Munt, the senior, tracks it down for out number 3. That'll finish the top of the first inning there. 1 run scored for the Riverhawks, with an error allowed as well.
Nice job there closing out the inning by Danielson. Just working around those early couple mistakes and giving her offense a chance here to respond as we head to the bottom of the first. We'll see the leadoff batter, Gianna Bowney, playing it short today.
Yeah, Gianna is batting .366 on the season. She has been leading off for the Bobcats for the last few years, last 3 years.
We take a look at our new up and renovated scoreboard here. It looks very nice out in right center field.
Great addition. The softball complex is finally being brought up to what the rest of the facilities really are here in Marshalltown. So it's nice to finally see it sprinkled here on softball. I think it's a roof over on the press box for baseball is next, if I can throw that flyer out there. But we talked about Aubrey Munt being a kind of a centerpiece there a little bit for the Bobcat offense. Gianna as well has just been a staple at the front. .366 average, over 20 stolen bases already this season. She gets on base, she gets the second base. That's her focus.
Yeah, .366 batting average, nearly 400 there, and then 25 out of 26 so far this year on stolen bases. So certainly a threat and not afraid to be aggressive on the base path.
Yeah, another person to highlight there is in that 3-hole, Lainey Danielson, the senior. .361 on the season. Tell me a little bit what you've seen out of her this year.
Lainey's just a super patient hitter. She's not afraid to get aggressive when she needs to be, but she's also not afraid to take a couple pitches and figure out what the attack is coming from the opposing pitchers.
Yes, so Bowney is now stepping in, junior this year. As the one thing about her speed has impressed me ever since her freshman year. So it shows in the stolen bases. It shows in the average.
We'll see it here, that super aggressive stance down the first base line while she stands in that left-hand batter's box.
Take strike 1 there. Right on the top edge of the strike zone. That one is high for ball 1. 1-1 count here. Bowney takes a swing and a miss there for strike 2.
looking to put a dent in that brand new scoreboard there with a cut like that.
Yeah, she was looking to swing for the fence there. And that is strike 3 for Bounty. One out now for the Bobcats as Abby Jansen, the catcher, is going to dig in next. Goes from a lefty to a righty. Jansen, 157 on the season.
Very productive 157, though. 14 RBIs so far on the year. So
well, when you got somebody on second base, a third of the time, it's not too hard to bring her home. Got a foul there, so 0-1 count to start off both of the batters. As Lexi Payne is pitching for the Riverhawks. Fouled off again there, 0-2. Got to choke up and protect the zone.
Find a way to extend this at-bat just one pitch longer here now for Abby Jansen, down 0-2.
Jansen looks at a pitch high there now, 1-2. She's just got to battle back here, see if she can find her pitch. On deck we have senior Lainey Danielson. As Jansen swings through for strike 3. 2 up, 2 down for the Bobcats. Here is senior Lainey Danielson, one of the two.
As we get a look at Jason Bowers there, the head coach. Bobcats 12-18 so far on the year, but like we said, coming off a nice weekend at the Bobcat Classic. As Danielson puts that first pitch just over the backstop here into the stands.
I got wins over Colfax Mingo, BCLUW, and I'm drawing a blank in the last one.
No, they lost to Davenport Assumption in their first game, and I don't remember who their fourth opponent was. I think it was Grundy.
Grundy Center, yes, thank you. 1-1 count. As Danielson swings through that for strike 2. What I don't want to see here is 3 Bobcats up, 3 Bobcats down, all of them strikeouts. We need to at least get the bat and balls in play. As Danielson fouls that one off, stays alive here, 1-2 count.
Talked about how normally patient Lainey Danielson is at the plate here, but as soon as you get down 0-2, it becomes just that much harder to stay patient because you don't know when that third strike is coming.
Well, especially in the first inning, you're still trying to feel out the umpire, what is his zone compared to the last game, and things like that. So you got to battle with everything that's close. You got to swing at it there. As it's now a 2-2 count, she was able to take that low. As she rips one, pulls it, foul. Stays alive, though, 2-2.
Even without Kate Sandvik in the lineup, our very own Keith Stewart still in danger down that third base line.
It's like a magnet for balls. It doesn't matter. Volleyballs, basketballs, baseballs, softballs. Lainey gets hit there. She will take first base as a hit by pitch. And this is the other senior that we are celebrating tonight, coming up to bat.
I think that was that foul ball there that came towards Keith.
Narrowly missed him. Aubrey Munthos stepping in. She currently batting .338 on the season, but we did get that grand slam on KFJB-TV earlier this year. So that's ball 1. Ball 2. Munt looking for her pitch here.
That's what's so key about finding that first base runner is you get the pitcher thinking about stuff that's not just the next pitch.
Right. It's no longer a battle between you and the batter. As Munt can't quite leg it out.
Foot came off the bag there at first.
Came off the bag.
Second, as the infield umpire made the call there, throw was just a little bit off track and pulled the first baseman off the plate. And the Bobcats have a second base runner here in the bottom of the first.
We'll take it however we can get it there. Bobcats now runner on first and second as Olivia Wise, the freshman, steps in. 277 for so far this season. Ball low. This is where they need, when they've got two runners on, we've got to get one around to home plate. They have to capitalize in these situations. Wise gets under one there, out to center field, and that is caught by Johnson for the third out. Kylie Johnson there, and I'll bring the Bobcats. We'll be taking the field after this, but we're going to take a short break coming up here on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects.
From learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
And gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Welcome back to KFJB-TV. You are watching the Bobcats hosting the Mason City Riverhawks. Want to give a shout out to Home Rental Center for production of today's game. Is made possible by Home Rental Center in Marshalltown. Need it, rent it.net. Up next for Mason City here, we got number 15, Zaria Falls. She's batting 227 on the season here, senior for Mason City. Plays third base. As Danielson digs in and throws a strike to start out the second inning.
That's what you want to see there from Danielson, coming out of a bit of a struggle early on in the first, but just come out, rip a strike onto the second inning.
There we go, 2 strikes there with the first 2 pitches. She was up on a couple batters in that first inning. Now let's see if she can punch it away here in the second. Sometimes you just need an inning to settle in here.
Yep.
Slightly low, tried to get Falls to chase on that one. 1-2 count. Danielson is low again. 2-2 count. And swing and a miss for strike 3. That is the second strikeout for Danielson today. The next batter will be Jaden Shin, sophomore, batting 184 this year. Plays out in left field for the Riverhawks.
4 runs, 4 RBIs for Shin so far this year. As pitch 1 just misses a bit outside.
Good to see Danielson get that punch out there, the confidence in this starting the second inning. As Shin gets a bat on the ball there, it'll even up the count here, 1-1. Shin, a sophomore this year, takes ball 2. 2-1 count here. All right. Strike 2, 2-2 count. Danielson just giving up that 1 hit as there was an error on Bounty in the first inning. It was a big hit. It was a triple that did score their 1 run. And there she goes with 2 batters, 2 strikeouts, and they complete it there as the Catcher dropped it, so they completed it at first base. Piper Nelson is now up for the Riverhawks. She's an 8th grader this year, batting .229. Strike one. Danielson has settled in, it looks like.
Talk a lot about the youth of the Bobcats on both baseball and softball. How about Mason City? So many 8th graders on this Mason City Riverhawks team.
Sometimes it's because they've got a really good class. Sometimes it's out of necessity.
I believe that's 8 8th graders listed on their full roster here.
1-1 count before that pitch there. 2-1 now. Danielson is looking to get 3 batters, 3 strikeouts here in the second inning. Ball 3. Nelson is only going to be swinging if it looks good. That is ball 4.
Bring up Ivy Kettleson here for Mason City. Been a bit of a struggle at the plate for her, the 8th grader. 3 of 37, but 2 RBIs on the 3 hits. She fouls the first pitch into the backstop.
Looked like Nelson there might be looking to steal on this one. She took off right away. I guess 2 outs. Any sort of bat on ball, you're going to be running. Danielson throws in. Kettleson can't quite get in front of the ball. Fouled 2 off there to the left side as the lefty is going to dig back in. The Bobcats are playing up. And she rings her up on 3 pitches. 3 outs that inning, all done by Danielson, the pitcher. It's a good way to bounce back after that first inning.
Get a look there, the 2 seniors, number 10, number 16, Lady Danielson and Aubrey Munt. Got the red solo cups, drawing out the numbers there at the dugout.
There are some posters as well when you walk into the complex of the seniors.
Very welcoming, this small senior class.
Yes. You know, Bobcats also have a pretty young team, a lot of freshmen, a few 8th graders sprinkled in there, some sophomores as well. I mean, the person you named that we're missing today, Kate Sandvik, is a sophomore herself.
Yeah.
They've got some, ways to grow as well as the Bobcats do.
Yeah, Sandvik a sophomore, Briley Danielson a sophomore. We've got Olivia Wise, you mentioned, a freshman out at second. Kaylin Coleman usually playing in that designated pitcher role, a sophomore. And Abby Jansen behind the plate, another sophomore. So plenty of youth here for the Bobcats to grow into quite a special team.
Yeah, so, Danielson gets all 3 outs in that last inning by strikeout. I think she just wanted to come up to bat because that's who's leading off here. As Danielson gets under it there to left field. As they do communicate well and get the out.
Bit awkward there with 3 defenders running into the same area, but
left fielder is able to call him off and take it home. Up next, though, Kaylin Coleman in that designated player spot. Batting .189 so far this year. There's strike 1. Coleman, one of those sophomores you were just talking about. Briley, also a sophomore, starting pitcher today. Ball 1, 1-1 count. I do think the Bobcats have the advantage via uniforms. They're in white, whereas Mason City's in black today. Coleman gets bat on ball. Can't quite leg it out there. Ground out to the shortstop.
Nice backhanded stop there from Evans at short. And this time the throw on line in order to beat the runner.
See the replay there. Snow cones that one there at first base. We've now got Cam Price, a freshman, 0-7 so far this year. She gets the bat on the first pitch there.
Hot shot right at head coach Jason Bowers in that third base coaching box.
She pulled it there, so she's in front of the pitcher here. That's good. She's just got to calibrate that so she can line that right back up the middle. That'd be nice. For her first hit of the year, although she does have some runs as a courtesy runner. She fouls that one off too. 0-2 count. Price is playing left field for the Bobcats today. She fouls off the third pitch. Lexi Payne pitching for the Mason City Riverhawks. Got 2 strikeouts in the first inning. Fly out and a ground out so far here in the second. And now strike 3 to Price. It is 1-0 here. Score in favor of the Riverhawks. We're going to take a short break while the third inning just after this.
And Sandvik drills one to right field. Backing up is the right fielder over her head. Griesel's going to come home, and that will get the Bobcats on the board again.
Your home for the Bobcats. KFJB-TV. Streaming all year on YouTube.
Welcome back to KFJB-TV. I'm Zach Tomesch alongside David Braga. I want to give a shout out to Brandon Lewis, our on-site producer. Also have Keith Stewart. And now I'm forgetting Brandon's stepson's name.
Deegan.
Deegan is out there in center field doing some camera work for us. Mason City back to the top of the lineup here. Dalen Gensler leading off for the Riverhawks, as Danielson gets 3 strikeouts in that last inning and starts out this inning with a strike. Ended up walking Gensler in the first inning after she was up 2-1. Or excuse me, 1-2 count. 1-1 count this time around. Ball too high.
Couple miscues from the Bobcats at the top of the order here in the first that assisted in that run getting home on the triple. So here through the second part of second time through the lineup, see how Danielson and the defense responds.
As Danielson throws in a strike, 2-2 count. Yeah, Kylie Johnson got on by error and was able to steal second base there. That set up that big triple. As Danielson's able to strike out Gensler here for her 5th strikeout today. Brings up Kylie Johnson.
Her 52nd strikeout on the year. Certainly adding to that number today.
Yes, Danielson feels like she's fallen into a groove here now as she starts off. Kylie Johnson here with a strike. Came into the game. Started batting .320, as she's still batting .320 as she got on via error.
That one gap to right center will be a stand-up double for Kylie Johnson, who aboard for the second time today.
Yeah, second time she's been on second base here with Brogan Evans coming up to plate. Evans is the one that hit that monster to center field. Gets a triple and knocks home Johnson. Same situation. One out here. Runner on second. Evans cranks one. Over the fence. Home run. 2 runs score here. As the Riverhawks now extend their lead 3-0 over the Bobcats here on senior night. Evans, we were talking about after that last hit to center that basically made it out to the warning track. If she gets it anywhere to the side here, which she cranked it over that left field fence, she's got the power to do it.
Yeah, we talked about her in the pregame as well. 321 average, and now a triple and a home run. Zach, do I dare bring up a cycle threat here?
I mean, I feel like we cursed Danielson when we
We
talked
did.
about the no-hitter.
We did.
Evans then hits the triple. Why not bring it up?
Well, she's a single and a double away from the cycle now through just 2 1/3 innings and 2 at-bats. So
Yeah, Danielson throws strike 1 in there for the Bobcats as the bases are cleared here in the 3rd inning. 3-0 Riverhawks. Bat on ball for Lexi Payne as they are able to get her to ground out.
nice play there by Bounty, making the start at short today in place of the usual Kate Sandvik.
2 outs here now in the 3rd inning. Piper Cook up to bat, sophomore, batting 184 coming into today. Cook flew out to right field.
That's a sharply hit liner into left, and Cook will be aboard here in the 3rd inning with 2 outs.
Yep, Price was able to get under it, but not able to stop it from going by her there. Only allows a single there by Cook. Runner on first, 2 outs here. As Zaria Falls comes up to bat, she struck out in her last at bat. Started this little run for Danielson, but once we said she was on a little run, she lets up a double, and then she lets up a home run. So maybe we just need to talk about the game.
That 2-3 spot has been very difficult for the Bobcats so far as Falls shows a bunt and the run is on.
Stolen base there by Cook. Bobcats have allowed 2 stolen bases, 1 to Johnson, 1 to Cook. Danielson, though, struck out Falls last time that she was up, so focus on the player at hand here as there's another strike. 1-2 count. One more strike and you're out of this inning. I'll knock on wood.
Maybe that's what we've been missing this whole time.
There it is, strike 3. A bit of a delayed call there, but I will take it. As the Bobcats surrender 2 runs there to the Riverhawks on a home run by Brogan Evans after a double by Kylie Johnson. They're up now 3-0 here, heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bobcats, they just need to keep putting the bat on the ball, right?
Yeah, they've found some contact here in the first couple innings, but only the Lainey Danielson hit by pitch and the Aubrey Munt error on the first baseman coming off the bag, or I guess maybe you put that error on the shortstop at the throw, but no actual hits yet so far for the Bobcats, so
yeah,
certainly need to find that down 3-0.
Keep getting the ball in play here as we see Lexi Payne continuing to warm up. Lexi, only an 8th grader for the Riverhawks. Yeah. That youth really kind of coming out here for them.
It's been a bit of a struggle for Payne so far this year. 1-8 on the year, 16 ERA, just the 9 strikeouts. But she's looked really good today. 3 added strikeouts of the Bobcats so far today.
That's a 33% increase.
Yeah. She's also walked 33, but has only given up the 1 hit by pitch so far today. So Bobcats looking to maybe warm up a little bit in this July heat
Maybe they need to settle down. If she's got 33 walks on the season, why are we swinging at the first pitch? We got to let her make the mistakes.
There you go. Talked about the patience of some of the Bobcat hitters. Maybe we need to see some more of that. As Brummel will reach.
We'll call that a hit here on KFJB-TV. Brummel legs out a single there. Now Gianna Bounty is up for the Bobcats. She came in today batting .366. Strikeout in the first inning. Let's see if she can bounce back here.
Couple of big cuts in that first inning strikeout from Bounty. See if she can't find some contact as
she looks to lay out a bunt, but pitcher. Wild pitch there. That moves Kendall over to second base. As maybe Lexi Payne here is starting to feel the heat.
We saw the Bobcats start to wear on some pitches there after Lainey Danielson got on after the hit by pitch. Just having that base runner as an extra threat is so key as a bunt goes foul down the third base line. It's even more imperative here with nobody out.
Yeah, if we can keep moving that runner over, you can easily sacrifice 2 outs and get 1 run, but would love to continue to move that runner without giving up any outs here as Gianna takes a big cut there, fouls it off. Do we got a couple ball boys or ball girls getting the softballs? There's been a lot gone out of play today.
There have been quite a few. I
guess I can't see that anymore up in this nice fancy press box.
Yeah.
Gianna lets that one go outside.
It's a great take there at the plate.
It's 2-2. Just high there. Count is full.
Another good take there from Bounty to bring us to a full count.
Brummel is standing there on second base saying, "Bring me home." Bounty gets ahead of it, pulls it way to the right corner.
Nearly into the Bobcat bullpen down that right field line.
She could keep that right down the line. That's an easy triple for her.
There you see it. Rolling up to that corner of the fence.
Full count. Outside. Bounty takes ball 4. Runner on first and second. No outs. Now we're going to have number 2, Abby Jansen, come up to bat. Jansen, the catcher here, came in today batting .157. Struck out in the first inning.
Bunt goes down the third base line and foul.
Oh, 1 count. They are playing for that bunt. Man, could you just poke one right over the head of either of them? And that's what it looks like she tries to do, is she pulls one foul, but in the air ends up being foul. 0-2 count here. Got to protect the plate at this point.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Zach. Very aggressive stance in the infield on the corners by the first and third base players by Mason City. Jansen makes them think twice, although here with 2 strikes, have to think the bunt is off.
Oh, yeah, you can't bunt that foul and be strike 3. There's ball 1, 1-2 count. They're still playing in front of the bag in case it's a little slap bunt or something. That is pretty common in softball. But if you could just get it right over, I think that scores at least 1, maybe 2 runs. 2-2 count now to Jansen. Struck out in the first inning.
This is where you like to see the Bobcats work that count. As
ground ball third baseman. She steps on third and gets the cross. Gets the cross diamond throw. Runners out on the corner. Bounty advances to second. Double play there. 2 outs now. Lainey Danielson, senior, steps into the plate, playing first base for the Bobcats today. She pops it up to center field, where Johnson gets underneath for out number 3. That'll conclude the 3rd inning. Mason City up 3-0. You're watching this on KFJB-TV.
Good. Good sportsmanship is also showing high character and accountability, doing what is right and setting a good example not only on the court but in the classroom as well.
Welcome back to KFJB-TV. Currently, the Mason City Riverhawks are up 3-0 over the Bobcats. As we get ready for the 4th inning here, we're going to have Jaden Shin lead off for the Riverhawks, as they are going to look to extend that lead, where Briley Danielson, we thought, was kind of settling in there in the 3rd inning, but it's been that number 2, number 3 hole hitters there that have done all the damage today for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, Kylie Johnson reached on an error in the 1st and then scored on the Brogan Evans triple, and then just recently in the 3rd a double from Johnson, and Brogan Evans brought them both home with that 2-run shot over the left field fence.
Yeah, never seeing that ball again, unfortunately.
Didn't quite make its way to Olive Street, but definitely over the fence.
Definitely over the fence, that's for sure, as Jaden Shin fouls off the first pitch there. And we want to talk about, again, just bring it up, she needs a single and a double for the cycle, as we jinxed everything else so far in this game. 0-2 count.
You never believe until in the commentator curse until it happens to you.
Yeah, very true. Actually, I do believe it as a fan. So
there you go.
I should have known better. Danielson digs in here. 0-2 count. Just misses there for ball 1. She did get Jaden Shin here in the 1st inning. She got struck her out as Shin came in batting 184 on the season. Danielson a little bit inside there as Shin ducks out of the way. 2-2 count.
This is, again, where we've seen some of the Bobcat pitchers struggle at times this year, getting ahead in that count and just not quite being able to find the put out. And as I say that, we've got a...
Is that a foul tip? And so she dropped it, so it's a foul. Those crazy rules here,
yes.
You know?
2-2 remains the count.
As Shin is able to squeeze it just by Bounty there, and she gets on first base.
Good effort from Bounty over there at short, but just too quick.
Just out of her grasp there at shortstop. That brings up 8-hole hitter Piper Nelson. We see just out of Bounty's grasp there. Nelson, 8-hole hitter, also an 8th grader there. A little theme for the Riverhawks, it seems like, as she misses for strike number 1. Looking to bunt there. Bunt the runner over. Shin. Just sacrificing that 1 out. There's a strike from Danielson. 0-2 count. Now she's got to put it away. She was here against Shin as well. Shin was able to get a hit on Danielson.
Rung up on the outside part of the plate. An excellent pitch there from Briley Danielson to close out the at-bat on Piper Nelson.
That gives her 7 strikeouts so far today, Danielson. 1 out here in the 4th inning. Kettleson, another 8th grader, came in batting .081. Struck out on 3 pitches in the 2nd inning there. Fouls off the first one. Fouls off the second one. Trying to bunt the runner over, play a little small ball here. Danielson is looking to punch her out here for the second out in the fourth inning. Just misses. Looked to be just high. 1-2 count. Ivy Kettleson swings. Calls it a foul tip, but the catcher is able to hang on for a strikeout. Strikeout number 8 for Danielson today. And number 2 here this inning. Runner still on first base. That's Jaden Shin. She just squeezed one by Gianna Bowney. As that ball goes over the catcher's head. And Shin is able to take second base off of that wild pitch. We're back to the top of the lineup here. We've got Dalen Gensler leading off for the Riverhawks. I guess not leading off anymore, but in that leadoff spot.
Very important at-bat here for Briley Danielson in the center circle, as we've got that 2-3 spot coming up here if she can't get Gensler.
I hope that's not what's in her head right now, as it's a 2-0 count. Now 3-0 count. She might see Johnson standing over there. That's scored 2 of the 3 runs so far tonight for the Riverhawks. Danielson throws in. Gets the strike call there. Looked a little high, but we'll take it.
That's one of those, you're always taking on 3-0. You make the umpire make the call, and he certainly did there.
That's the aspect of baseball and softball that you just can't take away. Gensler is able to leg it out. Advances Shin over to third base. Gensler grounder there to third base.
That's why you always run it out.
But the human aspect of the strike zone. I do love being able to challenge it in the majors, but that human element, I just, there's something about it that you don't want to lose. As a strike called there for Kylie Johnson, but Gensler takes second base on a stolen base. Runners now on second and third. Well, that's just a long strike right there for Johnson to make it 0-2. It would, if Danielson could get the strikeout here, get out of the, potential runs here on second and third base, and then it splits up that 2-3 hole that's been all the problems.
Danielson been ahead 0-2 so far this inning against 4 batters now. There's another one to short.
Johnson goes to short. Bowney gets it over in time for a 6-3 final out to the fourth inning here.
And like you said there, Zach, now you split up that Johnson-Evans duo that's been just brutal so far today for the Bobcats, and get out of it without allowing a run.
Yeah, hopefully that settles down Danielson a little bit. She can extend out maybe another inning or 2. You're not going into the bullpen. You're not using any other arms. You can then play the second game with, your full repertoire of arms. And not that it's as big of a deal in softball as it is in baseball and things like that, but those are things that coaches have to think about as well.
Yeah.
We're going to start off here in the fourth inning for the Bobcats. Lainey Danielson, one of our 2 seniors we're celebrating tonight on senior night, leading off for the Bobcats. Hit by pitch in the first inning. Was able to get over there to second base after Aubrey Monk got on via error. But Lainey, she is one of the better hitters for the Bobcats. Senior year this season. Consistent, patient. Those are the things that you had talked about before her first at-bat.
I believe it was Laney that actually flew out in that last inning. We got Aubrey Munt up to bat here, starting off the fourth. Jansen grounded into the double play, third to first, and then...
Yes, I see that now.
That's what we're here for. Keep each other on the scoreboard.
Let's go with Aubrey Munt here. Again, one of the seniors that we're celebrating.
Everything else is still true.
Yes. As she takes the first pitch there for Ball 1. Munt trying to get a little more of that KFJB-TV magic, as last game she hit a grand slam. Take ball 2 there. 2-0 count. Just try to settle in and find the pitch that she wants. Ball 3. What are your thoughts on swinging 3-0?
I think if you're a player like Aubrey Munt, I think you've got the green light. Now, I did have this discussion at the Waterloo East baseball game with Dylan, that if it's in the zone, you got the green light. But there, as you see, Munt takes a pitch high. Probably don't swing at that one.
Yeah, that one was a good eye there to walk on down to first base. As now we got Olivia Wise, freshman, coming up for the Bobcats. Wise came in today batting .277. Made it to state for wrestling. All-around good athlete. Through for track and field as well. As she fires one down to shortstop. Unable to make really a clean catch there at shortstop, and then overthrows it to first base. Evans there. Good with the bat. Not so good right there, as Wise is able to get on base, and that also advances Munt over to third base.
Yeah, it was going to be a close call there at first with Wise trying to beat out that throw, but just gets away from the first baseman Gensler and advances the runner over to third.
Riley puts down, she shows bunt, puts down the bunt. The Bobcats are able to score, and everyone is safe.
Perfect execution there by the Bobcats. Briley Danielson lays down a beauty on the third base side, and no play even, no throw.
Helping herself there, trying to get that W for herself on the stat sheet, as Briley is going to get a pinch runner here. We're going to get number 26, Faith Summerlot.
I was told by everyone's favorite Dylan Does that you have to mention that the pitcher can help herself out. That's one of the things you got to mention.
Well, and she did right there.
Yeah.
She lays down the bunt, but not only does she do it, she gets on base herself.
Exactly.
No outs still here in the fourth inning. The Bobcats finally get one across the plate. I'm worried about these umpires out there. Pants, protective gear. I hope they're drinking water.
Yeah, we've got a hot one here in Marshalltown as we start the month of July.
Strike one into Coleman as Kaylin Coleman steps into plate. Came in today batting 189. She pulls one down the left field line. 0-2 count.
Saw the Bobcats have a couple base runners in the third before being retired on a double play and a flyout. So nice to see here getting that first run home and still having the opportunity for more here.
And there Coleman gets hit by pitch. Just lets it hit her. And that advances all runners one spot. Cam Price is now up to bat. Price, freshman. So far 0-1 with a strikeout. Puts her at 0-8 on the season, but has done some damage when she comes in and helps on the base path.
How about an opportunity for that first hit here, bases loaded?
Yes, and she gets it right here with 1 run, 2 runs potentially coming in. 2-run score for the Bobcats. As Coleman.
Wise and Danielson coming around there for the Bobcats. Nice hustle from Danielson coming home from second as Cam Price, first hit, 2 RBIs.
You can't do much better than that there. Starting off her Bobcat career as or her freshman season, I should say. Getting a hit, getting 2 runs around.
Short little blooper over the third baseman, and the Bobcats tie us up here in the bottom of the fourth.
I think that's the biggest thing is we're now tied up. It took 1/2 inning. We're back in it. Danielson seems to have settled in on on the mound out there. We split up to 2-3 batters. This might be the fourth inning. This might be the time for the Bobcats to strike and take the lead.
Certainly the turning point you'd like to see for the Cats is still, Zach, nobody out here for the Bobcat batters.
Yes, Kendall Brummel, third baseman, comes up to bat now. She's a sophomore. Came in batting .222 on the season so far. Did get on base there in the third inning. Stole second base, so when she gets on base, she's got the wheels to do something as well. It's a 0-1 count.
At first pitch, a bunt attempt down the third base line rolls foul.
Still playing small ball, trying to move the runners over. Third baseman fields it. Brummel not able to leg it out, but that's okay. Runners move to second and third. As it was a sacrifice bunt, Kendall Brummel did her job, and that's why it doesn't count against her batting average.
Yeah. Dylan and I talked a lot about, even when you get it out, make it a productive out, and that's exactly what we got there.
Correct. As Bounty pops it up to the shortstop. Evans there makes the play. 2 outs now for the Bobcats.
Brings up Abby Jansen here for the Bobcats.
Catcher, which means if she gets on base, she's going to be pinch run for. Ball a little low. Jansen so far struck out and then grounded into that double play in the third inning. Bobcats got runners on second and third, looking to add to the lead here. Ground ball to the shortstop, and the play is made. Jansen, 6-3 ground out as we take one more break before we head into the fifth inning here on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects.
From learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
And gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Welcome back to KFJB-TV. Appreciate you guys watching today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you have not already, as we have been growing our viewership, growing our subscribers over the last few years. We've got Mason City coming up to bat here in the fifth inning. We've got, starting off with Brogan Evans, been doing all the damage for the Riverhawks here. Has all 3 RBIs, a triple, a home run, halfway to the cycle.
Halfway.
Let's keep reminding them, keep putting that curse down on it. See what kind of damage we can do here in the press box.
This time, it's our turn to do some damage.
That's right, yeah. As we've still got Briley Danielson on the mound, who has seemed like she's settled in here a little bit. Got ball there to start the at-bat. Evans does sneak one up the middle here, David. That's not a good sign for our cycle.
Not great.
Cycle watch. Can we get a little graphic for cycle watch
Yeah.
and just put a bicycle up or something?
We had the Marshalltown Police Department doing their bike stuff last game against Ames.
They're training, yes. So we now got Lexi Payne, 8th grader, pitcher for the Riverhawks, up to bat. So far, grounded out to shortstop, but we got the runner gone. Evans is able to steal second base on a ball, or excuse me, a strike. But Payne struck out in the first inning, grounded out to the shortstop there in the third inning.
It's now 4 for 4 on steals on the year for Evans.
The Looks like she left early, so
Oh, yes.
we're going to... That is a strike. 0-2 count. So we got one out. Can't leave early.
It's one of the things with softball. That's why you see that lead foot on the bag as the runner takes up basically the full base.
As there's a nice Texas leaguer right there. Into the outfield for a single. I'll take one out, though, with a runner on first. Piper Cook now up for the Riverhawks. Sophomore came in batting 184. So far today, she actually got on base, stole a base there in the third inning, but did fly out to right field in the first.
Have a pinch runner in, or a designated runner in for the pitcher Payne.
What number is that? I didn't see that.
He was 8.
Langston Brandt. And she goes and takes off. As Danielson throws one in there. Cook able to hit it out to right center, and they are not able to play it. Cook ends up with a double. Looks like Brandt ends up on third base. Was unsure what the fielders were doing out there, so only advances to third, which is good.
Yeah, Kim Price out there in left seemed to look like she just lost it a little bit there in the sun, and it tailed off a little bit more close to center than she was expecting, and it's like that Mason City threatening again.
We got the senior Zaria Falls up to bat now as there's an overthrow back to the pitcher. A little excitement there in the infield. Zaria Falls, one of the few seniors, or I think the only senior it looks like, on this Riverhawks team. She came in today batting .227. 2 strikeouts so far, and she misses on that one. We're going to go with an 0-2 count. Let's see if we can do the old hat trick.
Again, we see Danielson up 0-2 in a count. It's been a theme so far for her today. She's got 8 strikeouts recorded. We'll see if she can pick up 9.
And there she goes. Number 9, 3 of them, though, right here to Zaria Falls. 2 down now. Runner on second and third here in the 5th inning. Take a look up there in the Hy-Vee scoreboard. You can see the 2 runners, second and third. And now a 1-0 count. All tied up, 3-3. The Bobcats did their damage in the last inning, as the Riverhawks really have done it in just 2 swings.
Yeah.
It's a 2-0 count now. We got Jaden Shin, sophomore, for the Riverhawks up to bat. Shin right back to the pitcher. Danielson to Danielson. Connection is good.
Bobcats will close it out there with the Danielson to Danielson out. That'll send us to the bottom of the 5th as Briley Danielson works around a couple base runners there and sends us into the bottom of the inning, still tied up at 3 apiece.
But the big thing there, David, allowed no runs.
Yes.
Runners on second and third, didn't panic, was able to bring it home still. Are we going to see another inning of Lexi Payne? She did get pinch run for in that last half inning. I believe that is still her out there.
Yep, that is correct.
David, you said it's beginning of July. If it's beginning of July, July 1st, that is Mother's birthday. I have to give a shout out to Jane here as we're waving to the cameras. Jane's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. I won't tell you how old she is. I don't think she wants me to share that, but always a fun halfway. We are 182, Blink 182, halfway through the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really why they named their band that, but That's how I remember it.
There you go. See Lainey Danielson here to lead off the bottom of the 5th.
The Bobcats almost hit around in that last inning. And he watches strike one go across the plate. Patient was what you said about her.
Yeah.
She watches the first 2 balls. 1-1 count now.
I think that last inning kind of helped ease some of the panic for the Bobcat hitters at the plate here as Danielson pokes one high into center.
Center fielder is able to track it down. That's Kylie Johnson out there.
3rd fly ball out to center from the Bobcats. 2 of them, Lainey Danielson so far today.
Yeah, Aubrey Muntz now up. First runner to score for the Bobcats today as she was walked there in the last inning to start off the inning.
And has reached both at-bats so far today for the Bobcats as she reached on an error in that opening inning.
Wow. Been on base twice. Can't add to that batting average. Killer.
I think she'll live with it knowing she got to come around to score and help start off that 3-run inning.
I just need to go watch Moneyball again. It's not about batting average.
Yeah.
It's about getting on base.
There you go.
As she fouls off first 2 pitches here, 0-2 count. Needs to protect the plate a little bit. She has not seen an 0-2 count.
I hadn't even really seen a strike
Yeah.
if my scoreboard's correct.
I'm looking at the same thing here, David, but my scoreboard is far from perfect. As Munt, isn't quite able to muscle it over the shortstop there as shortstop makes that catch. Moving on to the freshman, Olivia Wise. She ended up scoring, reached on error in that last inning. Flew out to center as well. Gets the bat on the ball here.
Seen plenty of foul balls from this Bobcat lineup today, but just a couple times they've not been able to quite find one straightened out.
A 1 count.
Wise will straighten up that one.
Gets enough there to get a hit. Puts herself on base. Wise has seen the base pass in every at-bat as well.
Yeah.
Riley Danielson having a good game pitching after she's settled in here. Fouls one off. Danielson digs in, pops this one up, gets underneath it. Third baseman falls, is able to get underneath, and that'll end the inning here for the Bobcats. That ends the 5th inning. We are all tied up here at Marshalltown High School, 3-3. You are watching KFJB-TV.
And Sandvik drills one to right field. Backing up is the right fielder over her head. Griesel's going to come home, and that will get the Bobcats on the board again.
Your home for the Bobcats. KFJB-TV. Streaming all year on YouTube.
Welcome back to KFJB-TV. I am Zach Tomesch alongside David Braga here watching a tied ball game. And a fun one here with the Riverhawks visiting the Marshalltown Bobcats. Big 4th inning for the Bobcats, scoring 3 runs to finally tie it up. The Riverhawks, they've made all their damage, and that 2 3-hole hitters hopefully we don't see him this inning.
Yeah, if Briley Danielson can go 3 up, 3 down here.
As Piper Nelson digs in for the Riverhawks. Nelson, an 8th grader, which has kind of been the theme for the Riverhawks, as they've got, I think more than half of their team looks to be 8th graders. 1-1 count now.
Yeah, I've got 8 listed on my roster, so.
I think your roster is the same as mine, so.
It is. I believe they've got 16 total, so yeah, half of their listed roster.
Thanks for confirming that.
Yeah.
2-1 count here to Piper Nelson as Danielson is out there for the 6th inning today. Two count. Fouls it off, stays alive here. I was watching a baseball game with somebody recently, and they said, why don't they just foul off the ball until they want one that they can hit? I was like, do you know how hard that is? As she gets bat on ball to the third base, and Brummel is able to fire her out for a 5-3 ground out there. First out of the inning. Now it brings up another 8th grader, Ivy Kettleson, who has struck out twice so far today. Came in batting .081. Only gone down since then, but she does foul the first pitch off.
Yeah, anything where the best players in the world can do it 30% of the time and it's considered good.
And it's not even that. I mean, 270 is good anymore because they just want home runs.
Right.
They should play out on this field. As Kettleson is able to foul off another pitch here. 0-2. Can Danielson put her away? Again, another 0-2 count for Danielson. Danielson throws it over top of Kettleson there, and she ducks out of the way. I don't think there was any intention there.
No.
Just slipped out. She's got to be sweating. It's like, what, 92 degrees out right now?
It is very warm here at the Marshalltown softball complex.
It feels like it's 92 in here. Braden Lewis confirms it is 83 degrees as Danielson is able to ring up Kettleson there for out number 2.
That's now 2 Mason City Riverhawks that have gone 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Danielson feasting on the bottom half of this order.
Yeah, she is taking care of business there. It's, again, that 2-3 hole hitters that have done all the damage, and we now go to the top of the lineup with Dalen Gensler, the junior. She has been on base twice already today, but has struck out once as well. She is up 2-0. Danielson can't quite get it in there. 3-0. Although, she could split up 2-3 here again. That saw some success there.
I was about to say a very important end to this at-bat here, down 3-0 in the count with Johnson and Evans waiting to do more damage.
There it is. I shouldn't say just Danielson. Both pitchers have been getting that high strike call all day. So it's been consistent, but that's been up there for them. 3-1 count. And there's ball 4. It's a walk, another walk for Gensler. She takes first base. Brings up Kylie Johnson, center fielder. She has scored twice so far in this game, stolen a base.
Quick discussion there between Danielson and the catcher, Jansen.
Jansen said, hey, let's strike this one out, so I don't have to be in this catcher gear any longer.
I figured it was, hey, let's get this strikeout so we don't have to see runners on with Evans coming to the plate.
I mean, both work.
Both work.
as Johnson swings through the first pitch there. We do have a slight breeze. It truly is a nice night for softball as we get.
There you see that high strike zone again.
Yep. Strike 2.
Puts Danielson up 0-2 here on Kylie Johnson.
Maybe he heard me, so he felt like obligated. As Johnson pops it up. Is it out of play? Just out of play. No kids were hurt in that foul ball.
Nice thud as that one hit the floor of the bleachers here.
Well, we know they're sturdy now.
Yeah.
Now that they're new, we know they're built well. 0-2 count here. Danielson. So the runner goes to second. No one really covering there, and Gensler is able to steal second base. That is her second stolen base of the day. Didn't hear a lot of communication about the runner going there. Did not hear
that was
steal or any sort of call.
That was Jansen popping up in the middle infield, not recognizing the throw was coming.
Danielson, though, does get Johnson to foul it off. I don't even think Danielson knew that she was stealing because she kind of ducked out of the way at the last second. Runner on second here. Danielson misses. She does have 10 strikeouts already through 5 2/3. Danielson fires in. Johnson brings one to right center gap. Is able to hit a double there. And that scores Gensler. And the Riverhawks now take the lead, 4-3. Johnson on second base, and Evans is now up to bat again with Johnson on second base.
And only needs a double for that cycle.
Good call.
She was looking for it there on that first cut.
She definitely was. 0-1 count here now to Evans. Good thing, though, runner on second, but 2 outs this time around. Runner goes to third, able to steal third base. As that was a ball. 1-1 count to Evans. Evans started the day, only added to this total, but she started batting .321. As she grounds over to the third base is able to get it across the way. Brummel throws her out to end the inning.
Big out there to retire Brogan Evans for the first time today.
Yes. Good to get her, finally to get her out. She did leave early. That's how they got her off the base pass there in the 5th inning. But only 1 run surrendered there in the 6th inning for the Bobcats. I'll bring them up to bat. Price will lead it off for the Bobcats. Cam Price, freshman. She'll be leading off. She got her first hit earlier today with a couple runs scored. Want to let you know that transportation for today's game on KFJB-TV is provided by Carl Auto Group in Marshalltown. Carl is your dealer for life. Let me tell you, I do feel pretty cool driving around that big thing.
That thing is decked out in KFJB-TV and Kicks 101 logos and feels good to ride in it.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those vehicles I really truly can park wherever I want.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
So Price comes up to bat for the Bobcats. Am I reading that wrong? Do we have Coleman up to bat?
Yeah, Kaylin Coleman. Yes.
How am I off on this again? Because I think I didn't count it for Briley Danielson. I need a new scorecard, David. Coleman up to bat here. Sophomore for the Bobcats. Gets a bat on the ball to the shortstop. And Evans is able to make the play there. Coleman out, 6-3 ground out there.
It's her second time grounding out to the shortstop today.
Now we got Price.
Now it's Cam Price.
And I think if she gets a hit here, or the Bobcats win, I think game ball goes to her for game 1.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Big hit there in the last, in the fourth inning.
Attacks that third base side again. This one does dribble foul. As we talk about that, she hit that shallow blooper into left to score 2 runs, get the Bobcats a tie game.
Yeah, the infield was up. She hit it just right over the infield. It was perfect positioning by her. Great way to get her first hit this season. She is ahead of the pitcher here, so she's able to. She's not behind. She's on top of the pitches. Just has to straighten it out. 0-2 count, or excuse me, 1-2 count. And Price chases one there for strike 3. That's the first strikeout for the Bobcats in a while here. By my count, and we know we can't trust my scorecard. First strikeout since the second inning for the Bobcats.
Since Cam Price in the second inning,
Yep. Now I have Kendall Brummel up, third baseman for the Bobcats, as she watches the first pitch. Brummel had a nice picking out there to end the 6th inning.
Ball rolls into shallow left center there. Got away from Lexi Payne.
Brummel came in batting .222, sophomore this year. We did not bring our gloves.
Did not. Unfortunately, there's this large backstop that made it so I couldn't try to catch that one.
Yeah. 1-1 count. She lets that one go by. 2-1 count. As Brummel just gives it a little dribbler to third base. Third baseman makes the play, and the out brings us back to the top of the order. Gianna Bowney, just kidding, will be leading off the next inning. That'll do it here in the 6th inning. The Riverhawks do take a 4-3 lead. We're going to get the 7th inning when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Good. Good sportsmanship is also showing high character and accountability, doing what is right and setting a good example not only on the court but in the classroom as well.
Looks like we're going to see Briley Danielson out there on the mound again for the Bobcats here in the 7th inning. But when we do have a pitching change throughout this evening, I want to let you know that's all brought to you by Ethington Heating and Cooling. Is it time to change out your air filter? Check out the planned service programs from Ethington Heating and Cooling that helps ensure your heating and cooling systems are ready to go. Ethington Heating and Cooling, they're not comfortable until you are. Briley Danielson out on the mound again for the Bobcats. We got Lexi Payne, a 8th grader, up to bat as she fouls off the first pitch here in the 7th inning. Riverhawks in the lead here, 4-3. Trying to add to that before final time the Bobcats will go up to bat. Payne has pitched a pretty good game, as we noted. A couple strikeouts throughout the game, but holding the Bobcats here, 3 runs. She's kept her team in it.
Biggest thing for her in the circle there is not necessarily the strikeout numbers, but really other than that 4th inning, she's limited the base runners. She's limited the damage that the Bobcats can do at the plate.
Bobcats have not been great about getting all those runners around, except in that 4th inning where they got all 3 of their runs. As Payne fouls off another pitch here. It is a 1-2 count. Danielson has seen a lot of 2-strike counts pitching tonight. She does have 10 strikeouts, but she could have much more. as the ball is grounded right back to Danielson. That Danielson to Danielson connection there for out number 1.
I was going to say there just before that ground out, it seems, 10's a great number. It seems like 10 is maybe the low of what it could be tonight with all the 0-2 counts and 1-2 counts that we've seen so far tonight.
Oh, yeah. She has had so many batters with two strikes, just hasn't been able to punch them all out. As now we've got Piper Cook up as she grounds it there to Olivia Wise at second base. Wise to Danielson for out number 2. Bobcats here. 4 pitches, 2 outs. Looks like there might be a little bit of... Do we see a change coming? We do. We got a pinch hitter. Looks like Bella Waters coming in, 8th grader.
333 on the year, no runs scored, no RBIs for the 8th grader.
Yeah, subbing in for the senior Zaria Falls, who was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So the right person, I think, maybe to not seeing the ball today. As Danielson digs in and fires in strike 1.
A little disappointed, Zach. We won't get a golden sombrero there.
We will not. Grounded right back up to the pitcher. Danielson can't handle it. Bounty comes up, gets the ground out, ends the inning right there. No more damage done for the Mason City Riverhawks. They have 4 runs. Bobcats have to score here. At least 1 run to extend the game, 2 runs to win it.
Do we give Briley a hockey assist on that one? Is that how that works?
I think so. I'm waiting for the NBA to adopt that because I do think that does deserve, the setup pass does deserve something. I mean, she took off a lot of heat on that ball.
She did.
If it was going right up the middle there, does Bounty get over to it?
I don't know. Be a lot harder of a play.
It would be a lot harder, but glad to see Bounty gets over there. I think Bounty here just wanted to bat.
Yeah.
Because she's going to lead off here the 7th inning. Bobcats get the top of the lineup. Hopefully can get some damage done. It's been the middle of the lineup, though, that did all the damage for him in the 4th inning.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff on KFJB-TV this year. We have not yet seen a walk-off. Okay. If the Bobcats are going to win it today, we'll see a walk-off.
There we go. Exciting stuff happening. History in the making.
History
right
in the making. It will be Lexi Payne still out there in the center circle. And she'll look to close this one out for the Riverhawks.
8th grader, pitching pretty well today. Started off with 2 strikeouts in the 1st inning. Has a total of 4 on the day. Only allowed 3 runs. Good strike 1 there to Bounty. Bounty gets a ground ball to second baseman as Nelson's able to throw her out. First out. Abby Jansen now, catcher, comes up to the plate for the Bobcats. Jansen's been working hard, throwing down to at least challenge the runners that have been stealing today. She gets a bat on the ball and squeezes it through the infield there. Jansen gets a hit, ends up on first base. And there's the tying run on first base. 1 out as Lainey Danielson comes up to bat. Got her 2 seniors now. Can they bring her home?
These are the batters you want to see if you're the Bobcats. Lainey Danielson, the senior, and Aubrey Munt, the senior, on senior night. Maybe a little magic in the air.
Maybe.
I don't want to speak too soon here, but
Lainey does have 2 flyouts to right field.
Looks like we got a base runner in there for Abby Jansen. It'll be 21 Rael Brott, the runner here for
8th grader
Jansen.
Yeah, 8th grader for the Bobcats. Danielson, though, 2 flyouts to right field. She's due, right? That's what they say?
She's due.
She's due. Also hit by pitch there in the 1st inning. Jansen able to get that runner because she's the catcher. As that one is high.
Nice adjustment there by Cook behind the plate to hold the runner at first and not let that one make it to the backstop.
Danielson pulls one. Just too far. That'll make it 2 strikes there. 1 and 2 count to Danielson. He has liked that high strike, but that might have been outside just a little bit. 2-2 count. There's that patience by the senior here. Popped up, and it is just out of play. Looks like it made it to the back row there. 2-2 count still. Danielson stays alive, keeps fouling him off.
The more pitches you can make Lexi Payne think about here at throwing, the better you can be as a batter.
I understand there's a difference between softball and baseball, but she's got to be tired there. Danielson able to get it over the third baseman, and the shortstop not able to make the play there. Gets on first base, advances the runner there to second. Now the winning run on first. Tying run on second, Aubrey Munt, the senior.
Danielson didn't get all of that one, but she got just enough under it. Put it over the third baseman there.
Could not snow cone that one. No trust snow for you tonight. As Munt swings at the first pitch there, strike one, fouled off.
Snow cone sounds really good right about now.
It sounds delicious. I'm glad to see we have tropical snow back here in Marshalltown. Yes. Munt digs in. There's that strike. 0-2 count. Only one out here, so a fly ball. Even a deep fly ball would be good because that could advance the runner over to third base. Ideally, a hit. Well, there's a ground ball. Gets through the infield there. Runners do hold up at third and second. Munt able to move them over. She is halfway to second base, just trying to egg them on there. Nice ground ball by Munt to break it through. Bases juiced now for Olivia Wise, freshman for the Bobcats this year. Did confirm that only a 3-sport athlete can't quite get her to go out for a fall sport. So maybe volleyball next year. We'll get her. Olivia right back to the pitcher. Force out at home, but unable to get anyone else. So fielder's choice. But the bases stay juiced.
That'll bring up Briley Danielson, the starting pitcher tonight for the Bobcats here in Game 1. 2 outs, bottom 7, bases loaded. Zach, can you script it any better?
She's got to help herself.
Got to help herself out. She'll take a ball there high and away.
Whenever I can quote the infamous Dylan Does, I will.
I will.
And Jesus said.
And
Danielson pops one up as the shortstop drops it. 1 run scores. And Danielson comes around, or Munt comes around, and that'll do it. The Bobcats end up winning the game on an error by the shortstop as Danielson pops it up to the shortstop there. Sister Laney able to come around and score. Aubrey Munt also able to come around and score and wins the game for the Bobcats here, 5-4. What a way to end it. David, a lot of fun here on senior night.
A lot of fun, and a lot of action here in game one. As there you see Olivia Wise coming across. The Bobcats win this one in walk-off fashion, and Zach, we've got game two just ahead of us.
We do have game two just ahead of us, so it will be a short break here, but when we get back, we'll be ready for the start of game two, Riverhawks at the Bobcats.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is made possible by Assured Partners, Greg Young of Marshalltown, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Sports Plus, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown, Marshalltown School District, Scooters of Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown, your Marshalltown Hy-Vee, and State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency.
Safety! Dropped in the end zone. It's Niehaus. Feldman, that one will get in. That's a good point right there. A shot coming here. That's a goal. Lifted to left center field. Gets off the warning track into the wall. Transition three. Boom! Knocks that one down. And it's a goal. What a beautiful play. Dutton, look what I found over the first. It's a 3-on-1 all the way. Yes. There he goes.
Your home for the Bobcats, KFJB-TV.
Well, the Bobcats with a thrilling Game 1 victory here tonight as they take down the Mason City Riverhawks. They improve to 13-18 on the season, and they're now 3-8 in the Iowa Lions Conference North. As these two teams split a year ago, 2-2, they'll match up for the second time in 4 attempts in a matter of just 2 days, as the second half of our doubleheader is coming up next right here on KFJB-TV. Sandvik drills one to right field. Backing up is the right fielder over her head in Vallejo. Sandvik to second. Welcome in for game number 2 of our doubleheader tonight. As I'm Brandon Lewis, as alongside me tonight, Zach Tomesch, David Braga, our producer on site, Deegan Grant, as well as Keith Stewart on our camera coverage, and Jeff Brooks back at our radio studios getting our score updates throughout the night tonight. Well, 5-4 the final as Zach had the call there in game number 1. A pretty superb way to end the night there in game number 1.
Yeah, definitely exciting. The Bats finally came alive there in the last couple innings. Got 3 runs there in the 4th inning. First 2 runs come in off of Cam Price. She gets her first hit of the season, brings in 2 runs. What a big one there. Like I said, 3 runs coming in the 4th, and then another 2 there. Pop up, drop by the shortstop, and 2 runs come in. Finishes the game 5-4. Exciting way for the Bobcats to start the night.
That is for sure. A lot of good things happening here for the softball program, including that new scoreboard we showed you earlier tonight for the Marshalltown Bobcats. As they drag the field, get ready to go, we send you to the Cat Connection coming up next. All brought to you by your Marshalltown State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency, mtownproud.com. This is Bobcat Softball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
At Greg Young Automotive, we go the extra mile for our customers across Iowa. Why do customers choose us and keep coming back? Because our commitment to exceptional service and satisfaction never wavers. With our extensive network of dealerships throughout Iowa, we leverage unbeatable pricing and offer a better inventory selection than other dealerships. Visit any of our 6 locations across the state and experience the Greg Young difference, where we'll go the extra mile for you.
The Cat Connection, sponsored by State Farm, mtownproud.com.
It is our Cat Connection, all brought to you by Tyler Prashong Agency, mtownproud.com, here with Aubrey Muntz, senior for the Marshalltown Bobcats. I told David, our backup broadcaster and our producer on our broadcast, he got the call, the grand slam you hit against Ames, and I have not ever called a grand slam on KFJB-TV, and I've been broadcasting much longer than he has, but I told him, you better be happy with that one, but you were certainly happy with that grand slam. What was that feeling like out there to right field?
Oh, I did not expect it at all. I definitely was just wanting a base hit, and then I see it was over, and I was just ecstatic, like so excited.
Yeah. As you kind of put together your senior season, you've had a nice year, 338 batting average, 17 runs, 17 RBI this year. As you've kind of broken out at the plate, what's kind of led to that? Did you have a really good off season?
Well, I actually had shoulder surgery, so I wasn't able to practice that much during the off season. I think just like practicing during the year has gotten me to get a little bit better, and at the plate and in the field.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the field, you've been really good out there in right field. I know sometimes it's left field or center for baseball, but for right field in softball, it's a very important piece to the puzzle. Tell me about how, you've got more left-handed batters in softball. You've got more kind of the slap style hits, just trying to get a board. So how do you kind of read it when you're out there in right field?
I use a lot of my other outfielders. Gianna and Brooklyn both are really good about telling me where I'm supposed to be and to go back in, and just also with Livy, like at second, she's really good about telling me as well.
Yeah. You've registered over 30 putouts, only a couple of errors on the season. What do you think has kind of led to that success? Obviously not you mentioned the communication piece, but has it just been, you read the ball much better than maybe other years, or that's been just a focus for you?
Yeah, I would say reading the ball and then also working with pop flies and stuff with the coaches and everything.
Yeah. What's it like to be a senior on the squad and be a leader? Because there's a lot of underclassmen that are probably looking up to you.
Yeah, it feels really good. I feel like a decent role model most of the time. I think I'm a little bit harder on myself though this year because I'm older than everybody else, But I think that's just kind of how it is.
Honesty goes a long way, so I'm glad you're honest about it. I say that with the KFJB-TV crew as well. All right, so this year, looking at it, you're down to the wire here. You're got a couple more weeks of the season left here as postseason play going to start next week. So tell me about kind of the goals and how you want to see this season kind of come to an end in the regular season and then moving into postseason.
I want to make it pretty far in regionals. That's the goal. We have a young team this year, but I think we can go pretty far with that stuff.
Yeah. All right. What's in store after your senior season here?
I'm going to play at Southwest Virginia.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. So.
All right. How many times did you go out there to visit?
None, but
Okay.
but I've talked to the coach quite a few times, and I'm pretty excited.
Awesome. That's great. We wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. That is Aubrey Munt with our Cat Connection. All brought to you by Tyler Prashong Agency, mtownproud.com.
Like any good neighbor, sometimes you move. Here at Tyler Prashong State Farm, we have moved to our new office location at 2110 South Center Street here in Marshalltown. I'm Tyler Prashong. I'm so proud of my team and what we have helped build, but we couldn't have done it without you. We are passionate about what we do and care about the community we serve. I invite you to our new location and see how we can make a positive impact in your life.
We'd love to talk to you about what makes you
M-Town proud.
Make the equity in your home work for you with the home equity loan from Lennox Employees Credit Union. Crush high-interest credit card debt and make needed improvements to your home. You have the power to refinance and change your financial life. With the lower interest rate, repayment is more comfortable than paying those high credit card interest rates. The loan process is easy. See Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender. Online at lennoxecu.com.
Welcome back to the softball complex at Marshalltown High School. Brandon Lewis with you tonight. Time to get to tonight's starting lineups. All brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown. Let them deliver for you while we deliver the starting lineups. First off, for the Mason City Riverhawks, 6-17 on the season after a Game 1 loss here to the Marshalltown Bobcats. It'll be Dalen Gensler to lead things off. She will be at the hot corner tonight, batting in the leadoff spot for the Riverhawks. Kylie Johnson in center field bats second. Brogan Evans will be inside the circle in game number 2. She'll bat in the 3-hole with a 2-2 record with a 5.65 ERA this year. Number 4 hole will be Lexi Payne. She's the DP tonight, hitting for Zariah Falls. She is a shortstop. Piper Cook is the catcher, batting in the 5-hole. Jaden Shin is in left field, batting 6th. Elena Davis is at first base, batting in the 7-hole. Piper Nelson is at second base, and batting 9th is number 4 for the Mason City Riverhawks, Ivy Kettleson. She'll roam in right field. Meanwhile, for the Marshalltown Bobcats, behind head coach Jason Bowers, 13-18 on the season, Gianna Bounty will be the leadoff batter in the lineup as she'll play at catcher in game number 2, as she was at shortstop in game number 1. Kendall Brummel will be at the hot corner, batting second. Lainey Danielson is at first. Aubrey Munt, the senior, is in the 4-hole, playing in right field. Olivia Wise will be at second base, batting 5th. Briley Danielson is at shortstop after she earned the victory there inside the circle in game number 1, batting in the 6th hole. Hannah Osgood will be in the circle in game number 2 for the Cats, as so far this year for the sophomore pitcher, a 5-7 record with a 7.98 ERA. Batting 8th is Brooklyn Smith in center, and in left field it will be Cameron Price batting in the 9-hole for the Marshalltown Bobcats. When we come back, we will get our keys to the game here tonight, as this is Bobcat Softball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Marshalltown's Red, White, and Blue celebration is a great time for fun, food, music, and community. July 3rd kicks things off with the Car Cruise In at 13th Street District and the Iowa Veterans Home Grounds. Enjoy great food and live music with the Brazilian Twins. The 4th of July Parade starts a celebration that continues all day with fun activities. The night wraps up with live music by Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and fireworks. July 3rd and 4th, celebrate our independence with the Marshalltown tradition.
Do you dream of a career in healthcare that makes a difference? Marshalltown Community College offers a variety of programs to fit your calling. From nursing and medical assisting to dental programs, we provide a nurturing environment with exceptional instructors dedicated to your success. Our simulation labs prepare you for real-world situations. Explore your healthcare path. Find out more at MarshalltownCommunityCollege.com.
Today's keys to the game, sponsored by First Rate Real Estate, FirstRateTeam.com. Zach?
Yeah, looking at the keys of the game today for the Bobcats. Home cooking. Out of the 12 wins that they've got, only 3 of them have come here at home. So we've got to fire up that grill. Got to get a little home cooking going on today.
Now 14.
That's true. Yep.
13 wins.
13 wins, 4 of them now here after the victory in game 1. But for the Riverhawks, be the spot, hit the spot. Mason City as a team has walked 65 times and has walked 65 batters and hit 21 batters. They're allowing a ton of batters on base. You got to clean that up a little bit if you want to take home the victory here. And we saw them clean it up a little bit in that first game, but they weren't able to get very many punch-outs either. So the ball was in play, and that's where I think the damage was done for the Bobcats. So if they don't allow those free runners on base, they've got a chance to take home the victory here. But tight game in the first one.
Yep.
Be fun here in the second.
Briley Danielson did a lot of punching out in that first game as well. She had 10 strikeouts. Yeah, so did a great job as we're getting ready for our senior night coverage here at Marshalltown High School at the softball complex. Game number 2, it's always interesting. Game number 1, as you look score-wise, always tends to be a little bit tighter, and then it's really what do you have out there in the circle for game number 2 and seeing how they can perform. What do you kind of see from that aspect as far as getting your team ready to go and knowing that your number one pitcher went in game number one, and you've got to play that really good defense behind your number two pitcher in game number two.
Well, I think it's important that Briley went the distance. She started out, it was rough to start out. She let up 1 run early and then, down 3-0 at the end of the third inning. And it was off of really 2 swings there by Brogan Evans, where she got a triple and then a home run, knocking home all 3 of those runners in the first 3 innings. But she was able to clean it up there, and after those 3 runs scored, she had 5 of her strikeouts very shortly afterwards. Wow. So she was able to clean it up and settle down and able to make it through the game, which means no other arms were used in that first game.
Yep, that is for sure. It is senior night. Let's listen in to our senior night coverage here at the Marshalltown Softball Complex.
Aubrey's favorite softball memory will be hitting a home run off her former team, the Dundee Center Spartans, to secure a win for the Bobcats in this year's Bobcat Classic. The grandstand gift games was pretty awesome too. Aubrey's future plans are attending Southwest Virginia Community College, where she will continue her athletic career playing softball. Thank you for everything you've given to Bobcat softball, Aubrey. On behalf of the Bobcat staff, the Booster Club, Bobcat Athletics, and the entire Bobcat family, we thank you seniors for wearing the Bobcat uniform with pride. We are grateful for your effort, commitment to the team, and the memories created along the way. We encourage you to continue to always do your very best wherever life takes you. Congratulations and good luck to our seniors from the NHS class of 2025. The Bobcats would also like to congratulate Zaira Falls from Mason City Riverhawks on your senior season.
Well, a special moment there. Senior night for the Marshalltown Bobcats, as Zaira Falls also honored for the Mason City Riverhawks side. First pitch between the Bobcats and the Riverhawks is coming up next right here on your home for the Cats. News Talk 1230 AM, 93.9 FM, and on KFJB-TV.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown, and they are proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat Athletics. If you need a new recliner to relax in, or perhaps a new dining set for the whole family, shop McGregor's. They also have a good selection of luxurious sectional sofas. Score the mattress of your dreams with an assist from the McGregor's friendly and knowledgeable staff. You'll be the household MVP when you bring home the winning selection from McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown. Open 7 days a week.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Be Brogan Evans in the circle to face the Marshalltown Bobcats here tonight. As Evans will be in the circle for the Mason City Riverhawks. Hannah Osgood will go for the Marshalltown Bobcats here in the top of the first inning. Now time for a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank, with locations in Ames, State Center, and in West Des Moines. Zach?
Yeah, we got a couple games to give you an update on. Game played this morning at 10 a.m., Ankeny against Southeast Polk. Southeast Polk gets the victory 8-5, and then you had Burlington visiting Ottumwa. tonight. Ottumwa gets the victory there 10-0. So those are the first two that we got, but we'll be watching a few games across Central Iowa here as the night progresses.
Again, that scoreboard update all brought to you by Central State Bank. All right, Hannah Osgood, the starting pitcher for the Bobcats in game number 2. So far this year, a 5-7 record, 7.98 ERA, 28 strikeouts, 34 walks, 64 innings pitched, and she has hit 3 batters so far this year. The ERA and the strikeout numbers are up from a year ago. She's just a sophomore, still trying to find her footing, but we've seen some really good improvement out of her. And the most success we've seen is when she gets her first pitch strikes, which are key for any pitcher out there in the circle.
Yeah, we saw Briley Danielson in the last game get a lot of two strike counts. Let's see if Hannah Osgood can get there and then punch them home as well. We may have had 10 strikeouts from Danielson. It could have been much more. Yeah. This Mason City team will look by those strikes.
Yeah, looking at the field view for the defense here tonight, it'll be Gianna Bounty behind the plate catching for Hannah Osgood. It'll be Brummel at third. Briley Danielson is at shortstop. Olivia Wise at second. Lady Danielson at first. It's Price, Smith, and Munt from left to right in the outfield as we are ready to go here in the top of the first inning. So the Mason City Riverhawks, Alicia Kimball is the head coach for the Hawks. As she'll send to the plate, Dalen Gensler, Kylie Johnson, Brogan Evans to the plate, 1, 2, 3 for the Riverhawks. In the black tops, white bottoms in game number 2. Bobcats in the white tops, blue bottoms here in game number 2 as well. And the first pitch is in for a ball upstairs and outside to Gensler, 1-0 as she's playing at the hot corner here tonight in game number 2. Hannah Osgood engages on the rubber and will fire home, and the pitch is upstairs and outside quickly, 2-0.
Yeah, Gensler took 2 walks in that first game. Was able to come around and score. She also had a stolen base, so got a good eye and got some wheels when she gets on base.
279 out of the leadoff spot in the lineup, and the third pitch of the at-bat is upstairs for ball number 3. Actually,
I had 3-0 as well, Brandon,
yeah.
But it looks like the scoreboard's got 2-1.
Osgood fires in, and that one outside for ball 3. So a 3-1 count. They must have missed a strike in there that happened early on in the bat.
The previous umpire did like it high. Maybe this guy is also liking that high strike zone.
3-1 on the way. And this one will be up over the head of Gensler. She leans down and will walk her way down to first base, and this will bring up Kylie Johnson. Johnson, the junior, batting .320, 14 runs, 6 RBI. She's 8 of 9 stolen bags on the year. A left-handed batter stands in against the right-handed pitcher in Hannah Osgood, who checks that wristband, and she has her pitch and fires home. This one on the outer half, swung on, grounded to Wise at second, to flip to second, over to first, not in time. That will be a force out at second base on Gensler. The 4-6 flip for out number 1 on the fielder's choice. Johnson is aboard at first, and this will bring up Brogan Evans, the pitcher for the Riverhawks. Righty versus righty in the matchup.
Yeah, Evans is who did all the damage against the Bobcats in the last game.
Runner takes off, pitches high. Bounty throws to second. Tag is late by the shortstop and Briley Danielson, and that will be a stolen bag by Kylie Johnson. That will be her 9th stolen bag of the year. She is now 9 of 10 on stolen base attempts coming into the evenings. So Evans taking a ball right there.
Bounty can get that on a rope. That'd be an out.
Jammed inside. It's a grounder to Wise. It's second, over to first in time for out number 2. Brogan Evans with the 4-3 ground out. 2 away. The runner in Johnson does move over to third base.
Pitcher here, Osgood, does not have to worry about the runner. Just get the batter at the plate, move on to the next inning.
So bring up Lexi Payne. She's the DP tonight in the 4-hole, hitting for Zariah Falls, who's at shortstop. First pitch upstairs and outside of the right-handed batter, 1-0.
Payne did pitch the entire first game, so wonder if she's a little tired, or maybe that shoulder.
Yeah. And there's a strike on the outer half, 1-1.
So we'll have to watch that outside pitch to see if this umpire likes that outside part of the plate.
Osgood loads up, fires off the end of the bat, right to Lady Danielson down the first base line, and the U3 in your scorecard is out number 3 as Lexi Payne grounds out to end the inning One stranded for Mason City in the top of the first. We go scoreless into the bottom of the first when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
Brogan Evans will take the circle for the Mason City Riverhawks in the bottom of the first inning. She'll face Gianna Bounty, Kendall Brummel, and Lainey Danielson for the Marshalltown Bobcats, who won 5-4 in game number 1. Brogan Evans, a 2-2 record with a .565 ERA, 11 strikeouts, 19 walks in 26 innings pitched this year for the junior out of the circle for the Riverhawks in game number 2.
Yeah, Brogan Evans showed us what she could do with the bat in the last game. Now we're going to see what she can do with the arm here in game number 2. As the Riverhawks.
Was she the batter that had the triple, single, and double?
She had a triple home run and single. We did jinx her on the double.
Okay.
Yeah, we were able to get her on that one because we had jinxed every other player in that last game.
Gianna Bounty coming into the night, batting .366, 27 runs, 8 RBI, 10 extra base hits so far this year, 25 and 26 on her stolen base attempts. Left-handed batter leads off against the right-handed pitcher, and the pitch is upstairs off the glove of Cook, and it is a 1-0 count.
I have never watched a Bobcat softball game where Gianna Bounty did not lead off for the Bobcats.
That's true. Ever since her 8th grade year and now in her junior campaign. And a ball smacked to right center field. This is going to get down in the gap. Bounty rounds hard to second. She'll slide in safely with a double. That's a good way to start out game number 2 as well. Hard hit to the gap in right center field, and Bounty aboard.
How many catchers have wheels like Gianna Bounty?
Well, I think she's been forced into that catcher role by necessity. She traditionally roamed center field, but played shortstop there in game number 1 because of Kate Sandvik being out of the lineup here tonight. As we see a bunt shown, not dropped down by Brummel. She brings it back for a ball, 1-0. But, yeah, you're right. She definitely has always had that to her game, and it's so essential in softball out of the leadoff spot, especially if you're a left-handed batter, get down that line so quickly.
Yeah. Ends up on second, not because she stole the base, but hit a double this time around.
Bunt by Brummel goes to the backstop and ricochets over to the first base side. Foul territory. It's a 1-1 count. Brummel has seen her playing time increase as the season's gone along. A .222 hitter. Just a sophomore.
Got a stolen base in the last game. Lets another one go high.
2-1 now to Brummel as Riverhawks keeping an eye on Gianna Bounty there at second base.
This is kind of the same positioning that Cam Price had when she just hit it right over the third baseman to score a couple runs in the last game.
Bunt shown, but she brings it back, and the ball is low and outside to Brummel. So now a 3-1 count as Brogan Evans falling behind on the 2-hole hitter for the Cats.
Gets something right over the infield, and Bounty's going to score. There's that high strike right there.
Brummel did show bunt, and now full count. She'll have to swing away.
Infield's still up a little bit.
Evans loads up. Here's the full count, and it's a walk. It's a ball high to Brummel, and she'll trot on down to first base. Runners at first and second for Lainey Danielson, who earlier this year against Waterloo East hit a couple home runs, but since their things from long distance have kind of dried up for her, it is 180 down the lines and 220 to dead on center field as she takes a first pitch strike on the outer half. It'd be nice to see senior night Lainey Danielson get her third of the season.
Yeah, she had a couple flyouts to the right field in the last game. She's got the power to do it. Just getting the right contact. Shows bunt there.
0-1 on the way. Runners take off. Throw down to third. Not in time. The throw is high to try to get Gianna Bounty, the lead runner. And that'll move Brummel up to second base as Bounty sliding into third safely.
And Lady Danielson taking strike number 2 right there. Home plate umpire cleaning off home plate.
0-2 count to Danielson.
She digs in, and Evans fires high, 1-2. We take a look at the replay there as the runner's taking off, and the throw down to third on KFJB-TV. Not time to get Bounty. So 2 runners in scoring position for Lady Danielson on the 1-2. She'll take the outer half for a strikeout, caught looking for one away, and Evans for the first strikeout of the night.
Yeah, 2 strikes. You got to protect the plate there. We've seen him call it high all game. Anything high, we've got to at least battle that off. Brings up Aubrey Munt, though. Maybe we can get some KFJB-TV magic here in game number 2.
Well, she did for David a couple weeks ago. The pitch is high. It's to the backstop. Here comes Bounty. She's in to score. And that moves Brummel over to third base on the wild pitch. And it's 1-0. Bobcats leading in the bottom of the first inning on a wild pitch that scores Bounty as Aubrey Munt at the plate taking ball number 1.
Hey, bring him across the plate any way you can.
That is for
runs
sure.
Or runs.
Pitch low and inside to Munt. It's now quickly 2-0. Good job by Cook behind home plate to slide and keep that one kind of in front of her. Munt will dig back in. She was our Cat Connection earlier tonight. Batting .338. Sends a pop-up. First base side. Over to make the play is Davis. In foul territory right in front of the Bobcat dugout. It is caught for out number 2.
2 outs here in the first 4 batters, but 1 run across the plate, and that's what matters here. Bobcats are up 1-0 in the first inning.
Wise, a freshman, .277 hitter, 6 RBI. She's got an opportunity for another RBI with Brummel over at third. Takes a first pitch ball.
While we did see Wise score at the end of last game, her run does not count, unfortunately, because the Bobcats got the victory with that 5th run. She takes the ball right there.
A good way to end that game, though, as the Bobcats trailing going into the bottom of the 7th inning.
They allow the run in the first inning in the last game, but this game score the run as Wise makes connection there.
Pop up to the right side of the infield. Second baseman Nelson is on it for out number 3. And that will be an F4 in your scorecard. So 5 come to the plate. 1 scores. Gianna Bounty on a wild pitch gives the Bobcats a 1-0 lead as we head to the second on KFJB-TV.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Gianna Bounty leads off with a double in the bottom of the first inning. She got a stolen bag and then a wild pitch scores her, so it's 1-0. Heading to the top of the second inning for Hannah Osgood in the bump. She will face Cook, Shin, and Davis, 2 up for Mason City here in the second inning. As we take a look at that replay, as Gianna Bounty there in the bottom of the first inning, ripping one into the gap in right center field and gave that Bobcat lead. So a nice night. I know it's a little warm. Not quite 92. It's 81.
You said 92.
You did in game number 1. I was like,
well, that was a while ago. The sun was still up. It was still the heat of the day.
Not quite as humid as it was a couple weeks ago, last week. Yes.
We should
Pretty nice week here in central Iowa. As Hannah Osgood starts off the inning with a first pitch ball to the 5-hole hitter and Piper Cook. She is the catcher tonight in game number 2 for the Riverhawks. 1-0 on the way, and that one just a touch outside, 2-0. Home plate umpire was leaning over. I thought maybe he was going to give that strike, but maybe just a touch outside. And Osgood fires in, and this one laced right back up the middle into center. Smith fields it, throws it back in. It will keep Cook to a single to lead off the second.
Yeah, Cook, a sophomore this year, came in today batting .184. Gets a hit right there. Starts off the second inning. No outs. Runner on first. Osgood's got to lock in. Same way as she started the first inning, just a walk instead of a hit.
Jaden Shin, sophomore, will dig in, 184, and she'll lay down a bunt. It's picked up by Hannah Osgood over to first as Olivia Wise from second base goes to cover the bag at first, but cannot get the relay there, and so that will get Shin aboard as it moves the runner and Cook over to second base, as that will be a single right there off the bat of Shin. And runners at first and second, no outs here in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, the Bobcats got to tighten up their defense here. They've been able to prevent runs before.
Davis, who checks in the 7-hole, will take a first pitch strike on the outer half from Hannah Osgood.
Alana Davis, an 8th grader. Half of the Riverhawk team, 8th graders.
And she'll take a strike on the outer half, 0-2 to Davis.
Looks like he is going to call that outside, especially on right-handed batters. That right side of the plate, I think, is getting an extra inch or two.
Nilsson, Kettleson due up as well. Swing and a miss by Davis, and it's a strikeout. But Davis, Nilsson, and Kettleson, all 8th graders, and all struggled in game number 1 there in the 7, 8, and 9 holes. So 1 strikeout on the night for Hannah Osgood in the second inning. 1 away. Runners at first and second for Mason City as Piper Nelson, the second baseman, will check in, the 8-hole hitter at the plate. And Osgood will load up, fire high. Bunt was shown. Runners take off. Tag applied at third, and just safe as Briley Danielson, the shortstop, was covering the bag at third. As over at third, Brummel was playing in because of the bunt being shown. The tag looked pretty good. We'll get a look at that replay here in a moment. But Nelson took ball number 1 over there, but the throw over to get Cook looked to be good, but umpire said not in time. It looked like Cook kind of came off the bag a little bit as she slid in there. And we take a look at the replay on KFJB-TV. Not able to. There we see that. Oh, it looked like she might have just
got under.
Maybe just got under that. Piper Nelson at the plate with a 2-0 count. And a strike on the outer half as a runner from first. And Jaden Shin will take off. I thought Shin and Cook took off on that last one, but they did not. So just Cook took off. She was at third with a stolen bag, and now Shin advances to second. The no throw from the catcher and Bounty. And now runners at first and second as that was a strike. So 2-1. Now a pitch will get past Bounty, but it was tipped, and that will be strike number 2 on the foul tip to the backstop.
Yeah, the Bobcats did not allow the Riverhawks to score last game when they had 2 runners on, second and third. Only 1 out instead of 2 outs this time, so.
2-2, just outside. Umpire shakes it off. It's going to be a full count.
He likes that outside, though. He wants to call it.
He really wanted that one to ring her up. So full count here to Nelson, the 8-hole hitter. As Osgood checks her wristband on her left wrist and now has her pitch. 3-2. That's there on the outer half. As Piper Nelson, back-to-back strikeouts now. She's caught looking for strikeout number 2 for Hannah Osgood. 2 away. Runners at second and third for Mason City, bringing up Ivy Kettleson.
Osgood hit that outside spot that we've been mentioning there. Gets the call for strike 3. That's the adjustment that the players have to make from game 1 to game 2.
Kettleson takes inside for ball number 1, 1-0.
We'll have to see here with the lefty if that same outside call, the lefties get it as well.
1-0 on the way, and she'll tap it to Olivia Wise at second. Off the end of the bat for Kettleson. It's a 4-3 ground out for out number 3. Osgood works out of a jam. Runners at second and third are stranded for Mason City. It's still 1-0 Bobcats as we go to the bottom of the second on KFJB-TV.
Registration for the upcoming school year in Marshalltown is Tuesday, July 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Miller Middle School. A birth certificate is required if a new student is joining. If parents are unable to attend, they can go online to the Infinite Campus System. To begin, go to the district website, marshalltown.k12.ia.us, and click on Academics. All new families in the Marshalltown Community School District must register at the District Welcome Center, downtown Marshalltown. Here's to the 2025-2026 school year.
Brandon Lewis, Zach Tomesch alongside me tonight as the Bobcats lead at 1-0, heading to the bottom of the second inning. Riley Danielson, Hannah Osgood, Brooklyn Smith due up against Brogan Evans for the Mason City Riverhawks.
Yeah, it was Bounty's speed in that first inning that really was the advantage out on the base pass. She gets around, wild pitch, ends up scoring, gives the Bobcats the 1-0 lead there. Riley Danielson pitches a great game. She did help herself out in the last game. Let's see if she can help out Hannah Osgood here in game number 2.
Good faithful for the Marshalltown Bobcats here tonight. A little light for the long trip from Mason City. These two teams will battle it out tomorrow night on the road in Mason City. Bobcats will be back home on Thursday night against Waterloo East. We'll have that doubleheader for you here on KFJB-TV. First pitch of the inning is to the backstop from Brogan Evans to Briley Danielson, 1-0. Get that one out of the way early here. Danielson back in the box. Here's the 1-0, and swinging a tapper down below for strike number 1. So foul tip there. Evans, the backstop tonight is Cook. Gensler at third, falls at short. Nelson is at second. Davis is at first. It's Shin, Johnson, Kettleson left to right in the outfield as Danielson looks on for ball 2 upstairs and outside.
The Bobcats need to start seeing more pitches as well. I think that's the advantage that they had in the last game. They kind of wore down the pitcher a little bit. If they can wear down Brogan Evans here, the hits will start to come as the game continues to progress.
Evans firing low on that last pitch. It's now 3-1, and here she'll load up, and Danielson pops this one out of play behind the press box here at the softball complex at Marshalltown High School. She'll get a new ball, and it's now a full count to Briley Danielson. Righty versus righty in the matchup. Evans fires home. And swing and a miss as Danielson a little bit over top of that one, and a strikeout, the second of the night for Brogan Evans. One away here at the bottom of the second inning. Hannah Osgood, tonight's starting pitcher for the Cats, will head to the plate.
Danielson does see 6 pitches there, so at least starting to get deeper into the count, see more pitches.
Osgood a swinging strike. 0-1 on the first pitch. A year ago, just 1 for 7 at the plate with 1 run, and has improved on that aspect here this year. She has 3 runs and a couple of RBI. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a foul ball out of play on the first base side. Quickly 0-2.
Anything close here, and especially outside or anything that looks maybe a little high, she's got to protect the plate.
0-2. And it's upstairs. Missing from Evans, 1-2 to Osgood. Evans working quickly. Here's the 1-2 and a changeup, and that will fool Osgood. Back-to-back strikeouts for Evans, her 3rd strikeout of the night, and there's now 2 down in the second. Brooklyn Smith, the center fielder for the Bobcats, will dig in.
Smith, an 8th grader here.
And kind of an excuse-me swing on the first pitch. She'll foul it off on the third base side. Kind of in between whether she wanted to swing or bring it back, and did make contact. Luckily went foul. And another excuse-me swing. Smith not all into it, but did go around. It's quickly 0-2.
Smith, the only 8th grader playing for the Bobcats in this game.
The 0-2 from Evans. Upstairs chases. It's to the backstop as Brooklyn Smith adjusts her helmet and then runs down the first base line. It's not caught by Davis, the first baseman, so a strikeout. That'll be the 4th K of the night for Brogan Evans, but Brooklyn Smith on the drop 3rd strike will get aboard at first, and this will bring up the 9-hole hitter in Cameron Price.
It's just about getting on base. It doesn't matter how.
Yep.
We need runners on base so they can get around to score.
We'll see if that one comes back to bite the Riverhawks here in the bottom of the second inning with the Bobcats leading 1-0. Price swings and misses on that one. Taking off for second is Brooklyn Smith. Now runner in scoring position with an 0-1 count on Cameron Price.
Price got her first hit of the season in the last game and also her first 2 RBIs as well. Let's get RBI number 3 right here.
Pitch upstairs and outside to Price, 1-1. Yeah, you definitely don't feel comfortable with just a 1-0 lead.
Oh, and she's got to be feeling good.
1-1 is fought off to the backstop, 1-2.
This Riverhawk team, I think that top of the lineup can produce multiple runs each time they get up. So 1 run here does not feel good.
2-2 count now as Evans fires low to Cameron Price as righty versus righty in the lineup, the matchup. Here's the delivery from Evans. Upstairs, it's now a full count, 3-2, as Brooklyn Smith taking a healthy secondary lead out there at second base after the pitch.
It's good to see 2 Bobcats here get to the full count in the second inning, starting to make the pitcher work a little bit.
And upstairs, ball number 4, and there's now runners at first and second for the Cats, as this will turn over the lineup to the top as Gianna Bounty, who ripped a double in her first at-bat of the night and eventually ended up scoring there in the bottom of the first inning, will come to the plate for the second time tonight. Of course, Bounty catching, so she still had some of her gear on, and she takes that off as now she'll dig into the left-handed batter's box. Evans comes set, fires home, and popped up. Third base side, out of play, though, and it's a first pitch strike into Bounty.
Bounty can get the ball in play here. That should score the runner from second.
8-1, and this one, here are the numbers, and it will be called a strike as Bounty looks on. So 0-2 as the junior is down in the count. Evans comes set and fires home, and that one's upstairs and inside as Bounty looks on for a 1-2 count.
The second Bounty gets on base, she puts so much pressure on the entire infield.
And that one's going to hit Bounty, and she's going to take first base. And now, all of a sudden, Zach, the base is loaded. We had a swinging strikeout. Brooklyn Smith was able to hustle down the first base line and get aboard. Price walked, and now hit by a pitch and Bounty, and that was kind of your key to the game here tonight. You got to hit the spot. And the first pitch of the at-bat to Kendall Brummel is in for a strike, 0-1.
Well, the Riverhawks are letting the Bobcats on base here. Free bases. We love free bases here.
It's true, we do.
And, Bounty uses her head there, gets on first base, and loads the bases.
1-1 count to Brummel now as Evans misses high.
Brummel, again, put the ball in play. Should get you 2 runs across the plate.
Pop up to right field. And coming in is the center fielder, Johnson, and it is going to be out number 3 as, you needed that one to find the gap. And so the Bobcats leave the bases loaded as the Bobcats with 2 outs get 3 runners aboard but can't do anything with it. We head to the 3rd inning, and it's still 1-0 Bobcats on KFJB-TV.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
Heading to the top of the 3rd inning, it's 1-0 Marshalltown leading Mason City here on KFJB-TV. As I was good starting pitcher tonight in Game 2 for the Marshalltown Bobcats. She'll face the top of the lineup. Gensler, Johnson, Evans will come to the plate for Mason City. You talked about their attack being there in the first game. They were able to produce some runs, weren't able to hold on as a 5-4 loss there in game number 1. But this is the key right here is mowing down the hitters in the 7, 8, 9 has not been a problem for Briley Danielson or Hannah Osgood here tonight.
No, it's been the top of the lineup that's done damage. It was top of the lineup that got on base for the Mason City Riverhawks to start the game. They got a walk, had a runner on first, and then Johnson again gets all the way over to third base. But it's really been Evans there in that 3-hole, Brogan Evans, who did all the damage in the last game.
Osgood faces the left-handed batter in Gensler to lead off the top of the third inning. And it's a first pitch ball. Gensler walked and then was forced out at second base on a fielder's choice off the bat of Johnson, who stands in the on-deck circle. 1-0 from Osgood, and off the end of the bat into the backstop. 1-1 now the count on Gensler.
Yeah, Gensler able to draw that walk in the first inning. I think Osgood's starting to settle in here a little bit. She got 2 strikeouts in the last inning.
1-1 misses just a touch outside to Gensler. 2-1.
I don't think he likes the outside when it's a lefty up to bat. I think it's when the righty is when you got to take advantage.
So 2-1 on the way. And slapped on 2 hops over to Olivia Wise at second base. She fields it cleanly over to first for out number 1 of the inning. So Gensler grounds out, and this will bring up Kylie Johnson. Reached on a fielder's choice, stole a bag in the first, but was stranded. Mason City has stranded 3 runners on the base paths on 2 hits here tonight. Bobcats have stranded 4 base runners on 1 hit. And the first pitch to Johnson is low and outside at 1-0.
Yeah, leaving the bases loaded there in the last inning is tough. Tough pill to swallow, but hopefully there will be more chances.
1-0 from Osgood. And outside again.
Yep, that confirms it right there. It's only outside for the righties that he likes.
He must be right-handed? Well, he's wearing the watch on the right.
On the right side.
On the right side. So maybe he hates righties, loves lefties. And a strike on the inner half to Kylie Johnson. Osgood, a 2-1 count.
So that's the game within the game. You know, you got to figure out the strike zone. And each umpire is going to be a little bit different.
2-1 on the way. And this one smacked out of play behind home plate. And it's a 2-2 count quickly on Kylie Johnson. Big fan, as you see on KFJB-TV. Big fan of the new scoreboard out there in right center field.
It looks nice.
2-2. And right into the backstop. Dylan would have ducked out of the way if he was here tonight, Zach. Can you do a little more acting here?
Yeah.
As that one fell back towards us?
I don't have my glove. I can't, I can't get in the game. I'll have to bring that on Thursday with me.
Yeah. 2-2 from Osgood. And it's upstairs. And a full count to Johnson now.
I do like this press box. It's harder to see us in here, so in case I do flinch on a foul ball.
Not like last year, standing outside the fence. Here's the full count delivery. Smack to Wise again. She fields it cleanly and over to first to Lainey Danielson. Back-to-back 4-3 groundouts for 2 away in the inning for Hannah Osgood. And this will bring up Brogan Evans, a 4-3 groundout in her last at-bat. They were in the first inning.
Yeah, Wise has been playing some good defense today. They're at second base, really kind of locking it down. The freshman out there showing the leather. Evans is the big bat here. Hit the home run in the first game.
And the first pitch is hit to Lady Danielson at first. Wise picks it up as it ricochets over to her. An errant throw back to Lainey Danielson. And I don't know, that was a really hard hit over to Lainey Danielson. Are we ruling that a single?
I would rule it a single, error to get to second base.
Okay. So Evans stands at second on the E4. And there is one aboard with 2 outs in the inning. And this will bring up Lexi Payne, the DP. Grounded out to first base in her first at-bat. She's hitting again for the shortstop in Zariah Falls here in game number 2. Osgood first pitch of the at-bat. Tapped right back to her on one hop. Fields it over to Lady Danielson at first. It's a 1-3 ground outs by Lexi Payne for out number 3. Hannah Osgood gets out of it, gives up 1 hit, but we remain 1-0 going to the bottom of the third on KFJB-TV.
Legends American Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite team. Enjoy wings, nachos, steaks, and prime rib available on Friday and Saturday nights. It's game on for great food and your favorite drink to wash it down. You like burgers? Legends has fantastic, unique burger creations like this. The Legends Burger. Absolutely delicious. Gather with friends, enjoy your favorite team's games with the NFL Sunday Ticket, and make some memories. Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and our new Newton location, where the game is always on.
With the Bobcats leading 1-0, heading to the bottom of the third inning. Lainey Danielson, Aubrey Munt, Olivia Wise are due up this inning for the Bobcats. Production of today's game is made possible by the Home Rental Center in Marshalltown. NeedItRentIt.net. Well, the Bobcats getting out of a little bit of a tight jam there. They got a couple of quick outs in the top of the third inning. A base hit by Brogan Evans, but then a ground out. But you're alluding, that's the toughest part of the lineup for Mason City. They're 1 through 4 batters, and Osgood able to get out of it.
Yeah, get out of it cleanly there. Great defense by Olivia Wise, getting 2 ground outs, but then Osgood helps herself and fields the ball cleanly to get out number 3. Getting through that top 4 there for Mason City is huge. That's where all the damage has been done.
Strikeout looking in the first inning for Lainey Danielson, standing in for the second time tonight. Takes a ball upstairs from Brogan Evans, 1-0. And a soccer match is broken out in center field behind the fence.
Practice field out there.
Yeah, 1-1. Pitch in for a strike from Brogan Evans. And a swing and a miss on the outer half to Danielson, 1-2. There we go. We got the shot. Oh, good defense right there. Taking it away. 1-2, popped up. And that one just over the press box. Still 1-2 on Lainey Danielson. Senior at the plate on senior night. At home for the Marshalltown Bobcats. 1-2 from Evans. Off speed, waits on it, drills it to shortstop, falls, mishandles it. That'll be an E6 in your scorecard, but it will get Lainey Danielson aboard at first base. So the Bobcats are in business with the leadoff batter of the inning aboard. This will bring up Aubrey Munt. She flew out to first base in her first at-bat of the night.
There's just another error by the Riverhawks, starting off the third inning for the Bobcats here now. Runner on first. Should have been an out.
Lainey Danielson takes off. Here comes the throw. The tag applied, and out is Lainey Danielson. Falls, reaches over, and tags Danielson as she was sliding in. Cook with the good throw out. And that will be caught stealing, a 2-6 play in your scorecard for 1-0.
Yeah, I think Danielson was really hoping that Munt maybe laid down the bunt there, but wheels quite not fast enough, or not quite fast enough.
So there's the throw down to second base, and the tag just in time. The umpire right there in position. It's a 1-1 count to Munt. She did offer at that first pitch on the bunt attempt, and now the pitch is low, 2-1 from Brogan Evans. Shadows starting to creep out there in center and right field. Home plate still in full sun. And the 2-1 on the way for Munt, swing and a miss over top of it, 2-2. Munt taking a couple of practice swings before she'll dig back into the batter's box. As Evans will come set, and she'll fire home. And this one poked down a play on the right field side.
Evans is ready to go. The second Munt got back into the batter's box there, she was winding up and firing in.
It's one thing I really love about softball. There's none of that messing around.
That's for sure.
We don't waste time throwing over to first and throwing it over, errors,
Maybe we need that pitch clock in high school baseball.
2-2 is upstairs and outside. It's now full count to Munt. Three-two delivery. And low and inside. Munt will walk. So Lady Danielson was caught stealing, but now Aubrey Munt stands at first. There's still just one out here in the bottom of the third inning, as Olivia Wise will dig in, with the Cats leading 1-0.
Umpire's got to clear off the plate. Were you, I know you umpired a little bit, Brandon. Were you pretty particular about your home plate and how clean it was?
Yeah, I did. I really, one thing I also didn't like, as Wise will watch for ball number 1, is when batters would come up there, the first batter of the game, and just destroy the batter's box, and then you couldn't see the lines.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I hated that. 1-0 on the way. It's upstairs. 2-0 quickly.
A lot of my umpiring I did with my older brother, so he ended up behind the plate, but I was out in the field, and I actually kind of liked standing right behind the pitcher because I felt at least a little protected out there.
Yeah. 2-0 is dug out, and Wise is going to get aboard. A single right back up the middle. Here goes Munt over to third. The relay throw is off the line over towards the dugout for Mason City. Munt will hold there at third base as Wise slides into second on the throw. So a single advancing to second is Wise, and Munt goes from first to third on the rip right back up the middle by Olivia Wise, bringing up Briley Danielson.
Wise is having a great day both at the plate and in the field here. Moves the runner over, 1 out, so a fly ball will score the runner here. That's all we need is a good fly ball to the outfield.
Good contact right there by Wise, and just 1 out in the inning, so Briley Danielson a chance to really do some damage here, and she'll take a first pitch strike on the outer half, looking 0-1 from Brogan Evans.
Danielson struck out in the second inning for her first at-bat.
And the 1-0 gets to the backstop and ricochets. Mudd sliding in safely at home plate, and it's 2-0 Bobcats. 2 wild pitches here tonight have scored the Bobcat runs. Gianna Bounty scored on a wild pitch in the first, and now Aubrey Munt here in the third inning. Olivia Wise advances to third base on the wild pitch. It's a 1-1 count to Briley Danielson. You love those free runs right there. Just set it up.
They are doing it to themselves. The Riverhawks are. The Bobcats are taking advantage of the mistakes that they're making.
1-1 is low and in the dirt as Cook covers it up. It's 2-1 to Briley Danielson.
I think at this point in the game, this is where the Bobcats need to be patient at the plate and just see what the pitcher's given to them. Couple walks, couple wild pitches.
2-1 is dug out down the left field line by Briley Danielson, a 2-2 count.
The more pitches they see, the more tired she's going to be.
Yep. Brogan Evans taking a moment here to adjust, and now she's set to go. Here's the 2-2. And smack to left field. This might get down, and it will. A foot fair, and it drives in Olivia Wise from third base. It'll be a single and an RBI for Briley Danielson, and it's now 3-0 Bobcats in the bottom of the third.
There's a nice little blooper right there, right behind third base, right in front of the left fielder. Perfect placement. Would have scored both runners probably, even if the wild pitch didn't happen.
Sounded like she got jammed a little bit. It sounded a little fat off the bat, but
hey, what
it
works,
counts
works.
Anyway, as that one got down in the left field line. As we take a look at the replay here on KFJB-TV, is Briley Danielson with that single and an RBI. Hannah Osgood at the plate, taking ball number 1 from Brogan Evans.
See if she can add to the total here for the Bobcats, or at least get herself on base.
Pop up in the middle infield. Zariah falls at shortstop, calls for her, bobbles it, but stays with it, and Hannah Osgood is out on a fly ball to shortstop. Might have been an infield fly regardless, but there are 2 outs. As Briley Danielson still hangs at first base, and I believe we'll see a pinch hitter coming to the plate for the Bobcats. Brooklyn Smith will be hit for, as Ella DeMonte will come in to hit for her. So Ella DeMonte, 1 for 1, an RBI so far this year. She did play as a 8th grader last year, hit 167. So DeMonte check it in for the Bobcats here with a runner at first base. See if they can get something going here late. Already 2 runs in the inning, leading 3-0. DeMonte, a left-handed batter. And Evans will fire in the first pitch low and in the dirt. It's a wild pitch to the backstop. It goes as it slid underneath the catcher and Cook, and Briley Danielson stands at second base.
Again, just Bobcats taking advantage of the errors that the Riverhawks are making. Runner moves over, now in scoring position.
1-0 is a foul tip, and that one slides over to the left side of the fencing behind home plate. So it is a 1-1 count now to DeMonte. Didn't see if Brooklyn Smith was hurt or anything, so it might just be one of those things to get DeMonte in at bat here in the bottom of the third. 1-1 is low, and it is now 2-1 to Ella DeMonte. We'll have to keep an eye and see if Brooklyn Smith re-enters at center field in the next half inning. 2-1 on the way. DeMonte lines it. Fielded by the shortstop. It falls on the ground and fires over to first to get DeMonte out. It's a 6-3 ground out for out number 3 of the inning as Briley Danielson left aboard, but the Bobcats strike for 2 runs as Briley Danielson with a RBI single driving in Olivia Wise. Aubrey Muntz scored this inning as well. It's now 3-0 Cats as we head to the top of the fourth when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
5, 6, 7 batters come to the plate for the Marshalltown Bobcats, and Brooklyn Smith has re-entered the game out there in center field. So looks like the Bobcats defensively will still be the same behind Hannah Osgood, who has had her moments where she's, given up a walk to begin the game, but then, she's really settled in. She's given up a couple hits here tonight, but last inning she had a pretty clean inning, did give up one single, but got a few ground outs, and now she'll get a pop-up to deep left field, and it's off the glove, an error by Price, as Piper Cook sends a high sky ball to left field, and that will be an E7 committed by Price in left field that gets Cook aboard to lead off the top of the fourth inning. But, Osgood, aside from a couple of errors that have not helped her case, second one being committed right there, but she's pitched well to get some ground outs and some flyouts.
Yeah, she had runners on second and third in the second inning and able to get out of that inning. No runs scored. So when the going got tough, she dug down and made it happen.
Shen with a check swing, but apparently she did not go around, so it's a first pitch ball in the at-bat from Osgood, 1-0. Bunt shown, drops it down. Fielded over at third by Brummel. She comes charging down the line and over to first in time for the 5-3. Actually, that'll be a 5-4 ground outs because Olivia Wise was covering the bag at first base for round number 1 of the inning. That'll move Cook over to second base as it's a sacrifice bunt.
Playing a little small ball here, the Riverhawks are just trying to get any runners over to that scoring position.
And a ball right back up the middle. This will take an awkward bounce. Brooklyn Smith fields it, throws it back in. The runner from second scores. Cook will make it 3-1. Riverhawks on the board for the first time tonight as Elena Davis will record a single right back up the middle for the RBI. And they've cut the lead down to 2 now with the Bobcats still up 3-1.
Well, right there, that was a productive first out of the inning for the Riverhawks. They moved the runner over into scoring position, grounder up the middle, runner scores. That's how you play baseball or softball.
So Davis with that RBI single stands at first. Piper Nelson will head to the plate, taking a first pitch ball, 1-0. Righty versus righty. Osgood fires home. And it's upstairs and outside, 2-0. Osgood will find the strike zone on the inner half, 2-1 now.
Osgood's just got to shake off that one run. We've got one out already in this inning. Come out of it with one run allowed. You're looking good.
And outside, 3-1. So runner at first, and Davis. And the 3-1 on the way. Swing and a miss on the outer half. It's now a full count to Piper Nelson. Caught looking back in the second inning. As Osgood working back in this at-bat. Lights turned on in that last half inning. 3-2, right back up the middle, and Wise will field it. The flip to second, not in time to get the lead runner in, Elena Davis, and there is now some action on the base pass. Piper Nielsen is aboard on the fielder's choice on the flip by Olivia Wise. Just not quite in time to get that, as we'll take a look at the replay here on KFJB-TV. Yeah, that was definitely close, but they give the slide just in time there safely, as Kaylee Pollard, assistant coach for the Bobcats, is out in the circle to have a chat with the infield.
Ed, who do I need to lobby to get KFJB-TV replay used to start challenging calls here? Because I feel like
we could. Yeah,
close.
I think she might have just barely been in there, but it's a bang-bang play.
A lot of dust there, too. Doesn't help.
Tie goes to the runner, I guess.
Yeah. I just, would love to have some influence on the game if we can. Well, I'll pay for a booth out there. If we need a blue tent, I'll get that.
Maybe we can get it down to an iPad. Don't have to have them go under the hood like they used to. Remember when they used to roam to the sideline and go under the hood? And they've sped all that up. A bunt shown by the 9-hole hitter, Ivy Kettleson. It is fouled off.
Replay
and 0-1.
Replay in the MLB is actually very quick, and it doesn't add too much to the game. Been a great addition, in my opinion.
Piper Nelson stands at first. Davis is at second. One away here in the top of the fourth inning. Bunt put down. Bounty, the catcher, will field it over to first base, and off the bag they say Olivia Wise.
She bobbled it, it looks like.
And she did bobble it just a touch. And so Ivy Kettleson is going to be aboard there at first base. As head coach Jason Bowers is out to question the umpire who was on the base pass. He's going to defer to the home plate umpires. They'll get together and talk it out. We'll see if Ivy Kettleson will remain at first base. Looked like Wise did get it on our replay on KFJB-TV. And now the umpires say Kettleson was out. And so that'll be a 2-4 out recorded in your scorecard for out number 2 of the inning, as Wise did bobble it, but as we saw in the replay on KFJB-TV, was able to gather it just in time to make the out. And so the umpires get together and do make the correct call there in the end, as Gensler will be at the plate for this third time tonight. She walked in the first, grounded out in the third.
Maybe we do have some influence on this game.
Maybe we do. Maybe they heard us chatting up here. 0-1 on the way. And smack to Olivia Wise at second base. She ranges to her left, bobbles it, fires late. A run scores. Not able to get it to first base in time. That'll be an E4 in your scorecard right there. Gensler aboard, does pick up the RBI to drive in that run from third base, and this will bring up Kylie Johnson. So the runner at third and Davis scores. It's now 3-2. Bobcats still leading, but the Riverhawks adding on 2 runs this inning. Nelson stands at third, so the runner's at the corners with 2 down. And a swing and a miss on the first pitch to Kylie Johnson, the 2-hole hitter.
Yeah, if Osgood can get Johnson out right here, that splits up the 2-3 hitters that did a lot of the damage in the last game. Surprisingly, though, the bottom of the lineup here is the one that's done the damage in the fourth inning.
Brogan Evans is standing on deck if we get there, and I know you talked about her threat at the plates, but Johnson standing in there. 1-1 counts, and this one will hit the bat, a foul ball, and Kylie Johnson was ducking down to get out of the way, but she didn't bring the bat down with her, and she'll foul tip it to the backstop.
Drop the bat. That is, drop the head, drop the bat.
Take a look at the replay on KFJB-TV, and yeah, got all of that one. Here's the 1-2, swing and a foul tip to the backstop. as Kylie Johnson fighting off that close pitch off to the backstop, and 1-2 remains the count.
Yeah, the Bobcats, it would be great to get out of this inning, only allowing 2 runs there with runners on the corners. Right now, Osgood been pitching well up until this 4th inning here.
Pop up off the bat of the batter and Johnson, and it's into the stands behind home plate. So Johnson working the count hard here against Osgood as we take another look at that foul tip to the backstop here on KFJB-TV. In 3-2 the score, Mason City adding 2 runs this inning.
Close game in the first game as well. It's to be a tight one here in game number 2.
5-4 the final in game number 1. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, and Hannah Osgood will record her 3rd strikeout of the night. She'll get out of a tough situation with a couple of runners aboard, but Kylie Johnson strikes out. 3rd strikeout of the night for Osgood, out number 3. 2 runs come across. Cook and Davis score for Mason City. It's now 3-2. Bobcats still with the lead on KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Scoreboard update tonight, all brought to you by Central State Bank with locations in Ames State Center and West Des Moines.
Yeah, we got our scores sent in from our radio producer, Jeff Brooks, back at the station. Waukee Northwest is up 1-0 at the bottom of the 4th over Johnston. Fort Dodge 1, Ankeny Centennial 0 at the bottom of the 3rd. East Marshall over West Marshall in the 5th inning. East Marshall 1, West Marshall 0. And BCLUW has 3 runs to Colin Maxwell's 1 in the 2nd inning.
Beautiful night for softball, as this game was anticipated to be played a couple of weeks ago, but we got a pop-up shower and put some pretty good amount of rainfall in a short amount of time on the diamond, and so this one being made up here tonight in a doubleheader, and then these 2 teams will meet up in Mason City tomorrow night in a doubleheader as well. First pitch of the at-bat to the leadoff batter in the inning, Cam Price out of the 9-hole, was fouled out of play. And it's now 1-1 count as Price just took a ball outside from Brogan Evans. Back out for 4th inning of action for Mason City. And the 1-1 is low and downstairs. 2-1 now the count.
Price just being patient here at the plate.
Yeah, she worked a walk at her first at-bat, so showing that patience here tonight. Here's the 2-1, swinging a foul tip to the backstop, 2-2.
The other thing, though, she's already seen 4 pitches. Again, the Bobcats started getting deeper into the counts, and that's when they started scoring some runs there in the 3rd inning.
Swing and a miss on the outer half, and down goes Price as strikeout for Brogan Evans. And that will be strikeout number 5 in the night for Brogan Evans, starting pitcher for Mason City, 1 away, and this will bring up Gianna Bounty. Hit by pitch and a double and a run scored tonight. And Evans, just like she did on the first pitch of the game, was right to the backstop. And then on the next pitch, Bounty ripped that double to the right field gap.
Well, Bounty almost had that ball go off her bat there. She needs to, that ball's going over. She needs to drop the bat as well.
1-0 is foul tipped into the backstop, 1-1.
Bounty, such a threat once she gets on the bases. It completely changes the mindset of the pitcher there. What is she going to do? Is she going to take second? She's even stolen 3rd tonight as well.
The 1-1. And low and outside. Bounty waits on that one.
Looks like that outside pitch is only called when it's a right-handed batter.
So 2-1 count as Evans loads up, and an check swing by Bounty as that one was working in towards her. It's a 2-2 count now as she fouls it off. That went over towards Jason Bowers, head coach for the Marshalltown Bobcats. And the 2-1. And this one ripped down the right field line, back towards the fence. Bounty got a whole piece of it, and it's off the wall. Bounty around second. She's digging for third. Here comes the relay, and underneath of it, no, she is not. Out is Bounty at third base as she tried to stretch a double into a triple, and she'll be thrown out as we'll take a look at the replay momentarily here on KFJB-TV, but Bounty got all of that one right there.
She did. Hit off the fence there in right field. She was on her horse from the very beginning. I thought she had third here.
Ooh.
It looks like she
got
under that.
Looked like she might have been under that throw there to third base, but it is out number 2 of the inning. As I believe that is a 9-4-5 in your scorecard, Zach, if you're keeping tabs. And here's a ball down the right field line off the bat. Brummel just foul, and it will be a one count.
Yeah, good relay throw there by the Riverhawks. It was a close play, bang, bang there, and this one doesn't go our way.
So Kendall Brummel at the plate, a walk and a fly out tonight in both of her at-bats. And upstairs missing is Brogan Evans as we look at the replay there on KFJB-TV.
Look at that
9-4-5 to record the out. And outside to Brummel, it misses. Now a 3-1 count. Brummel waits and jammed inside. She'll send a bloop shot to Nelson at second. Runs up and makes the catch for out number 3. Bobcats look to be in business in the inning, but can't get the job done. They do get a hit off Gianna Bounty, but thrown out at third as we head to the 5th inning. Bobcats still lead 3-2 on KFJB-TV.
At Greg Young Automotive, we're more than just a dealership. We're a part of your community. We believe in transparent pricing with no hidden tricks or gimmicks. Just honest deals you can trust. Our commitment to fair pricing and supporting our local communities is why so many choose us. Greg Young Automotive, where integrity drives us and you home. Visit any of our 6 locations across the state and experience the Greg Young difference, where we'll go the extra mile for you.
Well, the Bobcats are leading 3-2, a slim lead, just like it was in game number 1. They had to battle back and scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to win 5-4 in game number 1. And right now, Mason City is going to head to the plate as we go to the top of the 5th, as the Bobcats lead 3-2. And due up, it is Brogan Evans, Lexi Payne, Piper Cook to lead off the 3-4-5 batters for Mason City.
Yeah, Mason City, this is the part of the lineup that did the damage in the last game. It was the bottom of the lineup in the last inning that did some damage.
Evans trying to dig one out. She's jammed inside. It's right back to Osgood, the pitcher, and out number 1. So a fly out to the 1 spot, 1 away here in the top of the 5th.
Good way to start the inning, especially getting Evans to pop out there. Evans has been quiet here in game number 2 after a monster game 1.
Coming up after the game, we'll name our OPA player of the game. Greek and traditional favorites. All you have to say is
Opa.
I was wondering where you're at there.
I didn't realize I was in on that.
Payne off the end of the bat for out number 2. It is fouled, or is put in play over to Lainey Danielson at first base for the pop-up. Caught by Danielson as she ranges in a few steps towards the first base bag, and there are 2 outs here at the top of the 5th inning as this will bring up Piper Cook. Cook, a single, a stolen bag stranded at third in the first. She eventually came around to score after she got aboard by the way of an E7 in the 4th inning to lead off that inning. And she's down to the count 0-1, but again, Osgood fires high and away for ball 1, 1-1.
Osgood looks like, the last inning didn't shake her. She just keeps firing in there.
Hot shot to short off the glove of Briley Danielson into left. It dribbles, and that's going to be a single off the bat of Cook. That was a hard hit ball there to shortstop as Briley Danielson gave her best effort, but not able to make the catch.
Needed just another inch there on that.
That's for sure. So 2 down in the top of the 5th with the Bobcats leading 3-2. Now off the end of the bat, Briley Danielson fields it, flips it underhand to force out Cook as she flips it 6-4 as Olivia Wise tags the bag at second for the 3rd out of the inning as Jaden Shin sent that grounder to shortstop. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th with the Bobcats leading 3-2 here on News Talk 1230 AM, 93.9 FM, and on KFJB-TV.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Bottom of the 5th inning as the Bobcats leading 3-2, and to the plate will go Lainey Danielson, Aubrey Munt, Olivia Wise, 3-4-5 batters for the Bobcats. Beautiful night here at Marshalltown High School at the softball complex. Take a look at head coach Jason Bowers for the Marshalltown Bobcats in his 3rd year. We'll talk to him coming up after the game in our post-game coaches interview, all brought to you by Century Plumbing in Marshalltown, specializing in service plumbing.
Bobcats need to extend the lead here as we saw in the last game. They scored 2 runs in the 7th inning to come back and take the lead. 1 run is not enough and is not a safe lead here tonight.
Brianna Lewis. Zach Tomesch alongside me tonight. Our producer David Braga on site as Lainey Danielson starts off the inning with a ball into left center field. That will get down and right on cue, Zach. They got going with the bats. Lainey Danielson, her first hit of the night here in Game 2.
Yeah, Lainey was due. She had a couple good hits that were flyouts in the first game. Finally gets one to land here. Gets on base. Let's start the rally.
Aubrey Munt digs in. A walk and a run scored back in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch of the at-bat, a check swing. She did go around. It's strike 1. So Lainey Danielson stands at first as Aubrey Munt looks to hopefully drive her in.
I understand why the infield is coming up. They're trying to play for that bunt there, but you're just leaving so much vulnerability there. If you can get it up and over, easy way for Lainey to get all the way over to third base.
And a strike on the outer half as Aubrey Munt was watching there. There's that spot the umpire loves so much, not Dylan, but Zach. And now we got scrambling out in right center field. A ball was thrown over the fence by one of the fans out there wearing a Johnston shirt. What is that? What's going on there?
Does he know where he's at?
My cousins are better than yours. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I like the bring your own sign to the game as Aubrey Munt on the 0-2 pitch fouls it out of play.
I didn't know that they allowed signs here. Now that I do, it's a game changer.
This is not college game day. Keep it clean.
Oh.
It looks like they've got backup signs, too. I'd like to know what the other signs say. Here's the 0-2, and this one to the backstop. A wild pitch moves Lainey Danielson to second. The 3rd wild pitch of the game, I believe, by Brogan Evans that has advanced runners here tonight.
Brandon, you don't strike me as somebody that bring a sign to a sporting game.
No. I don't think I ever have. I think I did once to a Twins game when I was younger. Back when it was the HHH Metrodome.
Oh, yeah.
Munt to shorts. Falls, looks back the runner, and Lainey Danielson. She'll take off for third. The out is recorded at first base. And Lainey Danielson, the check back to third, not in time. And she advances to third. And 1 out in the inning as Aubrey Munt grounds out 6-4 for out number 1. But it does do the job to get Lainey Danielson to third.
Yeah, Wise here just needs to get the ball to the outfield. A deep hit to the outfield will score a run. 1 out here. Take advantage of that.
The only cousins reference would be the Danielson sisters, right? Because I don't think we have any other dual sisters on the Bobcat roster.
Well, it could be their cousin that they're coming to see.
Yeah, but our cousins are better than yours.
Okay.
You know. There's Falls with her throw over to first base. As we take a look, as pretty tight there, but just in time to get the runner And the first pitch of the at-bat to Olivia Wise is in for a strike. She had a single and a run scored there in the third. It was a nice shot right back up the middle. And it's a 1-1 count here, and now a 2-1 count as the third pitch of the at-bat is low and downstairs as Cook covers it up, prevents it from getting to the backstop. Evans fires home and loses the ball down. That'll be an illegal pitch and an automatic ball to the batter, and Olivia Wise. It's 3-1.
Wise has really been flashing the leather today. She's been steady in the box as well. As a freshman, has just looked solid here in the 5-hole.
Really has. She'll take downstairs for a ball and work a walk, and now runners on the corners with just one out in the inning. So Wise will stand at first. Lady Danielson is at third, and this brings up Riley Danielson. We'll see if the Cousins can connect for the side out there in right center field.
Just hit it out to them.
Yeah.
You know, they want the ball. They want a souvenir.
How about a home run right to the side, right? And now we see head coach Alicia Kimball come out in the circle for the Mason City Riverhawks and give a talk to her infield with just one out in the inning.
I think the next time I go to a major league game, I'm going to bring a target.
I like that.
Get a seat out in the outfield and then put a target up there.
I was a big Mark McGuire fan back in the day when him and Sammy Sosa were going at it in 98, yeah. And I got a Big Mac T-shirt as well. And every time we went to a game, I was hopeful that he would hit it in Big Mac land.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody got a Big Mac for free, you know. Never happened. But I did see Sammy Sosa hit a home run.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Seen him do that a few times at Wrigley Field. Unfortunately, against my Astros.
So the meeting in the circle is over. Brogan Evans will stay in the game. Talk about strategy most likely there from head coach Kimball for Mason City. And a ball to the backstop, a wild pitch. This will bring in Lady Danielson from third base, and she will score. And it's now 4-2 Bobcats. Olivia Wise moves over to third base on the wild pitch. A little bit of a confrontation there at home plate as Briley Danielson got into a little bit of an exchange with Brogan Evans. The umpires are putting their arms out and warning the players to get back into their areas. As, Briley Danielson standing up for her older sister and Lainey Danielson, who scored there, coming in at home plate as we look at the replay on KFJB-TV, sliding in there as Brogan Evans hit the dirt actually, late. And Briley Danielson kind of coming over and pointing a finger in the face of Evans.
Hey, you got to stick up for your sister while you're there, you know? Senior night, man.
So a run in. It's now 4-2 Cats. Wise stands at third. Briley Danielson will smack one out of play on the first base side. It is a 1-1 count.
I feel like normally it's the older sibling that's out there protecting the younger sibling. This case, not as much.
Yeah, you like the sophomore standing up for the senior, that's for sure.
Shows a little fire.
The 1-1. And it's now 2-1 as that one down in the dirt inside. Cook does block it and keeps it from getting to the backstop.
Wise here on third base. Again, just a deep hit to the outfield will score the runner as there's only one out. Take advantage of that. Or get a hit and get on base and try and score yourself.
Yeah. Evans taking a moment, and the 2-1 is low and in the dirt, and that will hit Briley Danielson as she is fired up. Heading down to first base, hit by the pitch by Evans. And a little gamesmanship right there as we do have a little action in the bullpen for Mason City. As it looks like warming up for Mason City is Lexi Payne. So far this year, 33 and 2/3 innings pitched with a 16.22 ERA. And this will bring up Hannah Osgood, but it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Hannah Osgood as Kaylin Coleman will come into bat for the Cats.
Now, did those stats for Lexi, does that include the 7 innings of work that she did in the last game, too?
No, it does not. So I'm sure that ERA is lower than entering the night.
That and, that's 7 innings that you've already pitched today, too.
Yeah. So Kalen Coleman standing in, taking a first pitch strike from Brogan Evans. And runners on the corners, just one out here in the bottom of the fifth with the Bobcats leading 4-2. Coleman laces one into left, and that is caught by Shin. And the runner in Wise has to go back to third base, diving back in safely. Runners will hold tight at first and third as Coleman on the liner to left field is out number 2. This will bring up Brooklyn Smith. She struck out back in the second inning. She was hit for by Ella DeMonte in the third, who grounded out 6-3, so back in the game at the plate. She re-entered in center field. 2 down, runners at the corners for the Cats. Evans fires low and inside for ball 1.
It looks like they're maybe just wanting to get DeMonte at least one at-bat today.
No. 1-0 is fought off and fouled down the first base side, just past the first baseman and Davis, 1-1.
Yeah, Smith got on a drop third strike, and then it was able to steal second. Got some wheels on her a little bit.
Evans asking for a new ball, and so she'll change out balls with the home plate umpire. Working very quickly earlier tonight, but she slowed down her tempo. Here's the 1-1. Waits on an off-speed pitch off the glove of Ginsler at third. There's no play. A run scores from third. Olivia Wise makes it 5-2.
Now, solid contact by Smith. She saw it all the way, was able to pull it down the third baseline there. Third baseman had nowhere to go.
So an RBI, but it is an E5 off the bat of Brooklyn Smith as Ginsler had it, but then dropped it. On one hop, she's just not able to make the play and gather it back in. She had no throw to second or first. And now we have somebody tossed from the game. I'm not sure who's thrown out, but we saw the second base umpire throw somebody out. I didn't see who it was. Might have been Brogan Evans, the pitcher. I'm not sure, as home plate umpire is now going out to talk with the second base umpire, as Alicia Kimball, the head coach, is out for the Mason City Riverhawks. And he's pointing to second base. And the runner at second would be Briley Danielson, who was all fired up and then was having a conversation with Evans after she collided with Lainey Danielson at second base. So I'm assuming that's what it is as we try to get a look on it on replay. I'm not sure if we do have it. Here's the replay of it, of that play at home plate, and Briley Danielson got into a heated exchange with Brogan Evans.
And then got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, but Briley Danielson is back out at second base.
I don't see
and
a
runner
change.
At third.
I don't see any Riverhawks leaving the field. I did not see any Riverhawks leave the field.
Right.
And I see both Bobcats on base.
Yeah, and Briley Danielson is still the runner at second. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened right there, but here's a ball lifted to center field, well off the bat of Price, but it is going to be caught by the center fielder, Ian Johnson, and that will be out number 3. We'll try to get some clarification on that last play. And it actually was a warning, according to our very own Keith Stewart, saying the next player that talks is going to be gone from our game here. So a little bit of chippiness between the Bobcats and the Riverhawks. The Bobcats add 2 more runs. They now lead 5-2 as we head to the 6th inning on KFJB-TV.
Auto loans at Lennox Employees Credit Union are not just for cars. If you are looking to purchase a new or used motorcycle, boat, snowmobile, or other recreational vehicle, look no further. Lennox Employees Credit Union has low loan rates, and the loan process is so easy. Visit lennoxecu.com for rates and membership eligibility information, or go to 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown to visit with one of our loan officers. Lennox Employees Credit Union, member NCUA.
Well, some late game excitement here, not only on the scoreboard, but also with the players as we take a look at that replay where Eleni Danielson collided, and coming in late was the pitcher here tonight, Brogan Evans. And then Briley Danielson had some words, and then apparently had some more words at second base with Brogan Evans, and there was a warning issued. So any more chatter and someone might be tossed out of our game here tonight. It'll be Davis, Nelson, Kettleson, 7, 8, 9 batters due up to face Hannah Osgood here in the top of the 6th inning. Cats leading 5-2, and a rip right off the bat of Davis towards the shortstop, and Briley Danielson off the glove. That'll be an E6, and it will get Davis aboard to start off the top of the 6th inning.
That's tough there for Briley to get a shot right at her to start the next inning. Don't let it go to your head here, as words were said back and forth in the last inning. Keep that emotion in check as best you can.
Well, these two teams have to meet tomorrow, so there won't be a lot of time to forget about some confrontations.
I'm sure that there will be things said on the bus on the way home tonight, on the bus on the way there tomorrow.
Piper Nelson taking the ball, 1-0. Strikeout and a fielder's choice tonight. Here's the 1-0, and it will be a chopper to Briley Danielson, fielded over to first to her sister Eleni Danielson, and it's a 6-4 ground out for one away. It does move Davis over to second base.
She threw a strike there from shortstop to get Nelson out at first base. One out here. Again, that runner does not matter too much. Focus on the batter.
Kettleson, the 9-hole hitter, digs in, takes a first pitch ball, 1-0. A couple of ground outs tonight for Ivy Kettleson in game 2.
I know it's hard to think this way, but you can let that runner come around. You still got a 2-run lead here at the end of the 6th, so focus on the one batter there.
Kettleson takes a strike on the inner half, 1-1. So 5-2 lead for the Bobcats. Lights taking a little more effect as our sun sets off to the west, and a foul tip into the overhang of the backstop behind home plate. It's 1-2 to Kettleson.
Kettleson, another one of those 8th graders playing for the Riverhawks, came in today batting under 100, .081.
Here's the 1-2, and a check swing. She did go around. Kettleson is a strikeout victim. The 4th of the night for Hannah Osgood. There's 2 away in the top of the 6th inning as it brings up Gensler, the leadoff batter in the lineup. So far a walk and reached on an error and a ground out tonight. So a little bit of a mixed bag for her. She is 0 for 2. And a first pitch strike for Hannah Osgood, getting ahead and in a rhythm here with a runner at second in Davis, who reached on an error to begin the inning.
Yeah, last inning, Osgood looked very good on the mound. Again, coming in strong here in the 5th and 6th inning for the Bobcats.
The 0-1, it is tapped, rolled over to second, and the flip underhand to first. They got her in time. A 4-6 ground out by Gensler, a 4-3 ground out by Gensler is the 3rd out of the inning. The Riverhawks strand another runner here tonight on the base paths. That's their 6th stranded runner of the night. And the Bobcats still lead 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th on KFJB-TV.
Marshalltown's Red, White, and Blue celebration is a great time for fun, food, music, and community. July 3rd kicks things off with the Car Cruise-In at 13th Street District and the Iowa Veterans Homegrounds. Enjoy great food and live music with the Brazilian Twins. The 4th of July parade starts a celebration that continues all day with fun activities. The night wraps up with live music by Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and fireworks. July 3rd and 4th, celebrate our independence with the Marshalltown tradition.
Time for a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Yeah, looking at some scores that Jeff Brooks, our radio producer, sent out to us. We've got extra innings for West Marshall and East Marshall. They are tied 1-1 now in the 9th inning. Final score from Waukee Northwest 3, Johnston 0. Scoreless game at the top of the 3rd between Ames and Gilbert. And BCLUW 5 runs to Collins Maxwell's 1 in the 4th inning.
Up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard, it's 5-2. Bobcats, bottom of the 6th. This Gianna Bounty leads off the inning. A pop-up behind home plate. Cook goes back, makes the catch, one away. So the catcher making the out right there to lead off the inning. Kendall Brummel will dig in tonight. She is 0 for 2 with a walk.
The Bobcats are just looking to add some insurance runs here heading into the 7th inning. Either way, they're in a pretty good position to close out this game 5-2. Knock on wood, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The way we've been jinxing people tonight.
Brummel, first pitch is in for a ball, 1-0. Corner's creeping up there. She was showing bunt.
Brummel's got some speed on her.
Showing bunt again, and she'll take for strike on the outer half, 1-1.
Small ball seems to be the Bobcat way here. Get on base and see how many bases we can steal.
And they say she did offer on the pitch way outside, so 1-2.
A choke up here. Can't lay down the bunt.
1-2 is smacked into right field and caught, ranging in Kettleson. Look what I found out there in right field for out 2.
I think she was surprised when she looked in her glove and saw the softball.
To bring up Lainey Danielson, a run scored last inning. She led off the bottom of the 5th with a single. A couple of wild pitches helped move her around and eventually brought her in. First pitch of the at-bat is upstairs from Evans, 1-0.
I'm sure Danielson wants to cap off senior night here with at least one more hit.
And a chopper over the glove of Ginsler. That'll be a single. So a 2-for-4 performance in game number 2 for Lainey Danielson. She's aboard with 2 outs, and this will bring up Aubrey Munt. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk and a run scored.
I ask and I shall receive, I guess. Munt got a walk here in the 3rd. As the umpire here is getting himself situated.
Thought maybe we had a courtesy runner. We did not.
Looks like his mask.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's important.
I thought he was writing in his card for a moment, but yeah, he is getting that mask figured out. And so it looks like our home plate umpire is good to go as Aubrey Munt digs into the box to face Brogan Evans for the 4th time tonight. And the first pitch of the at-bat is low and inside, 1-0. Got any extra water on you?
I got body armor.
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, we got free waters being handed out.
Hey,
yeah.
Free bases and free water tonight.
I knew this was my favorite press box. Thank you. It's from Niagara Falls, I believe.
What I need a pad on my seat. We need to wheel those chairs over from the football press box.
That is good water. And thank you, by the way.
2-1 here,
you don't get this kind of accommodation everywhere, Zach. I'm just saying that.
There are some schools that we travel to that treat us very well.
Waterloo East, namely, a good school.
Yes, that is the one that it pops into my head all the time.
3-1 count here at Aubrey Munt. Munt, the senior on senior night. She's got the other senior, Lainey Danielson, over at first. And Munt will take a ball. And it is her 2nd walk of the night.
Good eye. Why
is this Niagara Falls water from the Canadian side or the American side, do you think?
It's tariff-free, so it's probably American.
So bring up Olivia Wise, a single tonight back in the 3rd inning. She came around to score. She walked in the 5th as well and scored a run, and she'll take a first pitch strike from Evans.
Yeah, Wise has really flashed the leather as well today. She's made some plays covering first and
in between first and second. She'll put it, and Lady Danielson is waved around, and it's 6-2 Bobcats. Olivia Wise with an RBI single. Have a night, Olivia Wise.
Yeah, Olivia, both at the plate and in the field. She should be feeling good. I bet she's going to get some Dairy Queen tonight, if I had to guess.
She is on her way to some OPA as well.
That's for sure. Be a good way to have a nice OPA dinner.
Yeah, you could start out with OPA and then treat yourself
DQ.
with some DQ after the game. Yeah. Riley Danielson digs in, takes a first pitch strike from Brogan Evans, 0-1. So Munt moves over to third. Wise stands at first as Riley Danielson digs out the next pitch and fouls it off over the press box, 0-2 quickly.
Yeah, if there's anybody that doesn't want to strike out right now, it's Briley Danielson, with words being exchanged here in the last few innings.
The 0-2 from Evans. Swung and a miss on the outer half. A strikeout as Evans will get Briley Danielson swinging and missing to end the bottom of the sixth inning. But Lainey Danielson comes in to score off of an Olivia Wise single. And the Bobcats extend their lead heading to the seventh when we come back on KFJB-TV.
Legends American Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite team. Enjoy wings, nachos, steaks, and prime rib available on Friday and Saturday nights. It's game on for great food and your favorite drink to wash it down. You like burgers? Legends has fantastic, unique burger creations like this. The Legends Burger. Absolutely delicious. Gather with friends, enjoy your favorite team's games with the NFL Sunday Ticket, and make some memories. Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and our new Newton location, where the game is always on.
Well, the Bobcats tonight, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 errors committed by Mason City. And the Bobcats leaving 9 runners on base. A lot of runners left aboard, but able to get those runs, and they take a 6-2 lead here to the top of the 7th inning. Tonight's action all brought to you by Ethington Heating and Cooling. If we have a pitching change, it's all brought to you by them. They're not comfortable until you are.
Yeah, they've got Bobcats have 4 walks, a couple hit by pitches as well, so really taking advantage of all the errors that the Riverhawks have made.
Here's a pop-up on the first pitch of the at-bat off of the bat of Kylie Johnson, the 2-hole hitter, will lead off the inning. It's right back to Osgood, the pitcher, and there's 1 away. Let's bring up Brogan Evans. 1 for 3 in game number 2 tonight. She had a single back in the 3rd inning, but not able to do anything with it. And the first pitch of the at-bat is upstairs, 1-0.
Yeah, much different game here in game 2 than game 1 for Brogan Evans, where she had a home run and a triple in her first 2 at-bats. A little bit quieter here at game 2.
1-0 from Osgood is over to third on 1 hop. It is fielded by Brummel over to Lainey Danielson for the 5-3 ground out, 2 away. Brummel kind of ate her up initially, but picked it up cleanly and fired on a good shot to Lainey Danielson at first.
Yeah, the Bobcats now down to their final out to get the victory here tonight. 2 wins over Mason City. That would be huge. Great momentum then leading into tomorrow, traveling up to Mason City.
Yep. Osgood fires in. Here's a hot shot to right center field. That will get down. Fielded by Smith. She'll throw it back in, and that will keep Lexi Payne to a single. With 2 outs, Mason City has 1 aboard, bringing up Piper Cook.
Cook here so far today has scored a run, got over to third base in the 2nd inning as well. Been on base actually all 3 at-bats today. Let's see if the Bobcats can get her out here to finish the game.
And Zerai Falls, who's at shortstop tonight, the DP and Lexi Payne was hitting for her. They're going to put Zerai Falls out there to run. And she'll go to first base to run for herself in this spot. Get a little more speed on the base pass as Cook stands in. And right to Brummel at third, off of her glove, picks it up, fires to first, but not in time. The stretch by Lainey Danielson. Just a touch later. We ruling that a hit or an error?
That'd be pretty tough. That'd be a pretty tough play for her to make.
Yeah, that is for sure. It's single by Piper Cook, and there's runners at first and second with 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning for Jaden Shin. She is 1 for 2 tonight. Did have a sacrifice bunt back in the 4th inning. Little meeting in the circle here for the Bobcats with 2 outs as assistant coach for the Bobcats, Kaylee Pollard, is out to talk about the situation here with 2 runners aboard.
Looks like they're laughing in there in that
dinner
huddle
plans
there.
then, I'm guessing? Get the out here and we all get OPA? Is that how that goes?
Are you buying?
No.
Oh.
The coaches.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, David's all for it.
David's buying. That's what happens when you're the intern, David.
That's only you, Zach. Come on, you can't give. Off the end of the bat, that's going to fall in for Jaden Shin. The runner goes. Araya falls at home plate off the glove of Bounty. Not able to gather it in. She might have had a chance to get Falls out, but the run scores, and it's 6-3. It's an RBI single by Jaden Shin as she picks up that RBI out of the 6th hole in the lineup, driving in Zariah Falls, who was at second base.
Shin does make it over to second base there on the throw to home, so runners on second and third. That means the tying run is now at the plate here, number 22, Alana Davis.
Davis so far tonight, she is 1 for 3. Reached on an error, had a single and an RBI and a run scored in the 4th inning. And a swing and a miss over top of the first pitch from Hannah Osgood, 0-1.
I think Osgood needed to see a strike go through here.
Yeah.
Get that confidence to come back to finish off the game.
2 runners aboard at second and third, but there are 2 outs in the inning as it is a strike thrown to Davis and 0-2. They're down to the last strike of the game here in the top of the 7th inning. Down to the last out as well. 3-run lead still for the Cats as Hannah Osgood trying to go full 7 here tonight, and the 0-2 is low and outside.
Yeah, we said a little bit earlier the Cats needed some insurance runs. They got 3 more there in the last 2 innings, and they needed it as they've got the 3-run lead here.
Osgood engages the pitcher's plate. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip to the backstop.
Down to our final strike here. Hannah Osgood looking to go 7 after Briley Danielson pitches 7 in the first game.
Davis digs back in. Osgood has her pitch as she looks at her wristband. Comes set. Here's the 1-2. An off-speed pitch lifted just out of play on the first base side. And we'll do it all over again as the runners retreat to their bases at second and third. And 6-3 the count as the Bobcats have the lead. Bobcats were down in the bottom of the 7th in game number 1, able to come back and score 2 runs. They do not want a reverse of that here in game number 2 as the 1-2 misses outside to Davis, 2-2.
Takes a look at the wristband there.
Yeah. Taking her time here. Here's the 2-2. And
There's
on the
outside.
other half, Davis caught looking for out number 3, and the Bobcats get the sweep in the doubleheader as 2 runners left aboard for Mason City in the top of the 7th inning, but Osgood works out of a jam, and the Bobcats with the sweep here tonight, a 6-3 win in game number 2.
That's a great win there for the Bobcats. Had a couple jams there that they were able to work themselves out defensively. I think the biggest thing is both pitchers go all 7 innings today and looked pretty good start to finish.
Yeah, really well-pitched game in game number 2. Sometimes you see that struggle, but a good matchup here tonight between Evans and Osgood, but Osgood gets the better of it in a 6-3 victory in game number 2. Coming up, we head to the locker room report for the Bobcats. We'll talk to head coach Jason Bowers. You're listening to News Talk 1230 AM, 93.9 FM, and watching Bobcat softball right here on KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
Your degree, your way. Online learning at Marshalltown Community College lets you learn at your own pace, from home. Fitting education into your life. Choose from 9 fully online programs. Balance work, family, and your future. Plus, you get dedicated support just like on-campus students. Library, advising, everything you need. Online degrees at MCC, flexible, accessible, and supported. Visit MarshalltownCommunityCollege.com to learn more. Start learning your way today.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Welcome into the Locker Room Report. Brandon Lewis with you at Marshalltown High School at the softball complex. Bobcats victorious here tonight in game number 1 and game number 2. With a 5-4 victory in game 1 and a 6-3 victory in game number 2, Bobcats improved to 14-18 on the season, and they're now 4-8 in the Iowa Alliance Conference North. Riverhawks with the 2 losses dropped to 6-18. They are now 1-9 in the Iowa Alliance North. Well, final stat lines here tonight. Riverhawks with 3 runs off of 8 hits and 8 left on base. The Bobcats did commit 4 defensive errors in game number 2. Meanwhile, for the Bobcats, they score 6 runs off 7 hits. The Riverhawks committed 2 errors. Bobcats did leave 9 runners on base here tonight. Hannah Osgood with the victory for the Cats. She goes 7 innings, gives up 8 hits, 3 runs, and struck out 5. The losing pitcher, Brogan Evans, she goes 6 innings, gives up 7 hits and 6 runs, and strikes out 6 Bobcats in the effort here tonight. These 2 teams will match up in a doubleheader tomorrow night at Mason City. Our next broadcast of Bobcat softball will come on Thursday night when the Bobcats host Waterloo East. As we roll along in our Locker Room Report, we will have our OPA Player of the Game when we come back. This is Bobcat softball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Registration for the upcoming school year in Marshalltown is Tuesday, July 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Miller Middle School. A birth certificate is required if a new student is joining. If parents are unable to attend, they can go online to the Infinite Campus System. To begin, go to the district website, marshalltown.k12.ia.us, and click on Academics. All new families in the Marshalltown Community School District must register at the District Welcome Center, downtown Marshalltown. Here's to the 2025-2026 school year.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Report here tonight. Again, all brought to you by Wells Fargo Advisors, James Hunt and Jeff Isgrig, located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. You take a look at Jason Bowers with his seniors, Laney Danielson and Aubrey Munt, here for the Marshalltown Bobcats here tonight, enjoying a victorious night on senior night with a doubleheader sweep of the Mason City Riverhawks. Now time to name our player of the game, all presented by Opa Grill of Marshalltown. Greek and traditional favorites, all you have to say is Opa. Well, our player of the game here tonight in game number 2, Olivia Wise, our player of the game, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 1 RBI, a walk. And on the defensive side of things, she was involved in 9 putouts on the defensive side, so very involved defensively as well as offensively for the Bobcats as she batted out of the 5-hole here in game number 2. That is our player of the game, as Olivia Wise receives a $25 gift certificate to Opa Grill in Marshalltown. We're back with our post-game head coach interview with head coach Jason Bowers after this. This is Bobcat softball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
What does OPA mean? OPA means joy, enthusiasm, and approval. And when you dine at OPA Grill in Marshalltown, you'll understand why. With their made-to-order pasta, soups, and salads made daily with the freshest ingredients. Favorites include chicken parmesan pan-fried to perfection, fresh and light chicken lemon rice soup, and their signature OPA salad topped with seasoned gyro meat. OPA Grill Family Restaurant in Marshalltown, where you can dine in or drive through. All you have to say is OPA!
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Legends American Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite team. Enjoy wings, nachos, steaks, and prime rib available on Friday and Saturday nights. It's game on for great food and your favorite drink to wash it down. You like burgers? Legends has fantastic, unique burger creations like this. The Legends Burger. Absolutely delicious. Gather with friends, enjoy your favorite team's games with the NFL Sunday Ticket, and make some memories. Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and our new Newton location, where the game is always on.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Back in on the Locker Room Report, Bobcats with a doubleheader sweep here tonight, 5-4 and 6-3, as Zach Tomesch is standing by with head coach Jason Bowers. Our post-game interview all brought to you by Century Plumbing, specializing in service plumbing in Marshalltown.
Thank you, Brandon. We're now joined with head coach for the Marshalltown Bobcats, Jason Bowers. Two big wins here for you guys tonight. Late comeback there in the first game. You kind of really had the game secured there in the seventh inning. Tell me about just these two wins on senior night.
Yeah, it was fun. The kids kind of started a little slow there, but they never gave up. And, we got that little walk-off win there in that first game. And that might be my first one as a head coach, so I'll remember that one. And then the second game, we kind of took that momentum and carried it through that second game and got on them a little bit quicker. And both my pitchers pitched really well tonight and pitched complete games, which they haven't done as a pair all year. So it was good to see.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about, both pitchers going the distance tonight. What does that do for your arms? You got 6 games here in 3 days. You've just had the Bobcat Classic. That's got to be good for the other arms on the team.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But, the good thing they're young and they're not as old as I am. But, they do recover a little bit faster than somebody like me. But we'll see. We got some young pitchers behind them. I mean, they're only sophomores, but I got even younger kids behind them, so we'll just see how the game goes, and if they can go and they're efficient, then maybe they can last about as what they did tonight. So
yeah, a little chippy tonight, got there in the second game a bit, but it's nice to see a little fire in the girls here at the end of the season.
Yeah, and I want them to be good people, good sportsmanship and everything like that, so I'm not really sure what transpired there, but it sounded like, the looks of it, I was catching the part of it at home plate. It looks like my kids were trying to stand up for my kids and their kids were trying to stand up for their kids, and just got a little chirpy there at the end. So the umpires gave us all a team warning, so it kind of cooled things down a little bit after that. So
let's talk. It's senior night, the two seniors, you have Danielson, you had Aubrey Bunt as well. Talk about these two girls this year.
Yeah, both of them, it started back in the winter. Aubrey had shoulder surgery early on, late or early winter. She's still kind of recovering from it, but she's a hard charger. Is one of those kids that goes 100 mile an hour. You can't tell her to go soft, right? Tell her it's easy on her throwing progression, but she just does what she wants to do. And then Lainey, she's kind of that quiet leader and plays, really, really good first base. And, and it's good to have those two kids on the team for sure.
So what was the message to the team tonight as you turn around, play Mason City again tomorrow, and then Waterloo East for 2 more games on Thursday?
Yeah, I told them to rest as much as they can, right? You know, the bus leaves at like noon tomorrow, so, you know, it's pretty quick turnaround, and we got to travel a long way. So it'll be interesting to see how we come out and play that first game, you know, and then we'll see what we're made of, I guess, in that first game. And then Waterloo, you know, they've struggled throughout the year, but you know we got to still play ball. We still got to show the energy. I loved our energy there, and especially that second game. We were probably the loudest I've seen it or heard us all year, so that was good to see because I kind of preached that. So.
Yeah, well, good. Well, good luck tomorrow. We'll see you then back here on KFJB-TV then on Thursday night. So travel safe.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Back to you, Brandon.
All right, thanks, Zach. That is our post-game chat with head coach Jason Bowers. Again, all brought to you by Century Plumbing, specializing in service plumbing in Marshalltown. This is the Locker Room Report on KFJB-TV.
When you need a plumber quickly, try Century Plumbing of Marshalltown. We specialize in service plumbing, not new construction or large remodels, so we get to our customers faster, from clogged drains to water heaters and everything in between. We can help with a guaranteed appointment and quality, efficient service. I'm Sarah, co-owner of Century Plumbing, and I'd love to book your appointment today. Call 641-750-0108. That's 641-750-0108.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown, and they are proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat Athletics. If you need a new recliner to relax in, or perhaps a new dining set for the whole family, shop McGregor's. They also have a good selection of luxurious sectional sofas. Score the mattress of your dreams with an assist from the McGregor's friendly and knowledgeable staff. You'll be the household MVP when you bring home the winning selection from McGregor's Furniture and Mattress downtown Marshalltown. Open 7 days a week.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, presented by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Report. Now time for a regional scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank with locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines. Zach?
Yeah, thanks to Jeff Brooks back at the KFJB studio sending us these final scores. We have a final BCLUW 5, Collins Maxwell 2. Ottumwa scores 10 runs over Burlington 0. We have a final Ankeny Centennial 8 runs over Fort Dodge's 2. West Marshall ends up beating East Marshall 3-2 in 10 innings tonight. We've got Ames and Gilbert still scoreless in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Burlington over Ottumwa in Game 2, 8-7.
Yeah, that update all brought to you by Central State Bank with locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines. Up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard, once again a final tonight in game number 1, 5-4. Bobcats 6-3 victorious in game number 2 here tonight. We'll wrap things up when we come back. This is Bobcat Softball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Zach Wall can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started by giving Zach Wall a call at 641-752-3017 in Marshalltown or visiting edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Transportation for today's game on KFJB-TV, all provided in part by Carl Auto Group in Marshalltown. Carl Auto is your dealer for life. Well, our next upcoming broadcast of Bobcat Athletics is on Thursday night. We'll have softball here on KFJB News Talk 1230 AM and 93.9 FM, as well as on KFJB-TV. Doubleheader against the Trojans from Waterloo East coming up on Thursday night. And then next week, we know our postseason assignments. We'll have softball coverage on Thursday, July 10th at 7 o'clock. That is just a single game in postseason play. against the Lincoln Rail Splitters. And then the following night, on Friday, July 11th at 7 o'clock, baseball will be traveling to Ankeny Centennial. For our KFJB-TV crew here tonight, Jeff Brooks, our radio producer, Deegan Grant, and Keith Stewart on camera coverage, our producer on site, David Braga. For Zach Tomesch, I'm Brandon Lewis. You have been watching Marshalltown Bobcats softball victorious tonight, 6-3 and 5-4 in the doubleheader. We'll talk to you on Thursday night right back here at the Marshalltown Softball Complex. I'm Brandon Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. This is your home for the Cats. News Talk 1230 AM, 93.9 FM, and right here, KFJB-TV.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is made possible by Assured Partners, Greg Young of Marshalltown, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, the Gregors Furniture and Mattress, Sports Plus, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown, Marshalltown School District, Scooters of Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown, your Marshalltown Hy-Vee, and State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency.